Hello, everyone. Sorry we're starting a bit late. We had more of an adventure than usual as I got home in my nice winter coat and then the zipper would not go down. Whoops. Uh, so anyway, the result of that is that the stream started late because it took Tristan about 5 minutes to, rip the zipper down finally. So I am, somewhat nervous about what's going to happen when I try and put it on again, but we will see. Alrighty. So usually, the people who support me on Patreon or YouTube at the windmill level or higher, they usually help me out by voting on what puzzle I should start with. However, instead of doing that, what they usually try and do is try and get as many puzzles as possible tied at exactly the same number of votes. So this puzzle is tied at with 5 other puzzles, I believe. Oh, the rules run off the edge. How much? Let's see if I do that. I think the rules don't run off the edge. Maybe, possibly. Maybe drag it down just a tiny bit. Is that okay? Hopefully that looks okay. Oh, sorry. No, not that won't help. That will probably do it. I was thinking I might be able to, expand the window capture, but now I realize that there is no, expanding the window capture because the window capture actually does end there. Sorry, I'm tech issues. But anyway, this puzzle was one of the 5 puzzles that received 8 votes. So I chose the 5-star one this time, for whatever reason. So this puzzle was voted for by Woofer, Niv, Luda, Josh, Tallcat, Russ, Eric, and David. So thank you to all of you for your support and for your efforts to very carefully make all of these things work. So this is a pretty cool rule set. So we have to do a chaos construction here. So we need to fill the digits 1 through 9 in every row and column and region. But the regions don't exist. So we have to find the regions. And a digit in a clued cell indicates the number of cells seen in the indicated directions combined. Within its own region, basically, because region borders obstruct vision. So in all of these directions, if, say, let's just make that a region. If this is a region, then this cell sees 9 cells in total, because cells see themselves. And so I can note immediately all the arrows are at least 1. But this would see 9 cells because it would see all of the cells in the red region. But then as soon as it gets to another region, then it loses. And I am reminded again that I have not yet installed Jay Dyer's thing that will make region borders look prettier. So alas, sorry about that. We will learn eventually to actually do that. Alrighty, so that's it. So I guess this is a 1 or a 2, right? Because either this sees only itself or it sees itself in that cell. So this is a 1 or a 2, and that's a 1 or a 2. But the thing is, this cell, these 2 are in different regions. Because if these 2 cells are in the same region, then so is that, and then these would both be 2, and I can't have 2s in the same region. So these are in different regions. And so we can make one of them yellow and one of them pink. And this cell is yellow or pink. We can't do flashes in cells, but this is yellow or pink. And the yellow 1, 2 and the pink 1, 2 are different numbers. Let's see. These are each from 1, 2, or 3. As is that. That's also 1, 2, or 3, because it at most gets all of those. And I think we might be out of things. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, for example. So that's interesting. I'm sure the next thing I should be looking for is cells where I can definitely put a border between them, because the numbers would be the same if there wasn't a border between them, maybe, possibly. Row 2, column 6 says Isabella, row 3, column 6. Ah, yes, this cell. I completely missed this cell. Good point. This is a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Interesting. I guess this is also a 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? This at most sees these cells. So that's actually a quadruple. I think that's a quadruple. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, the fact that this is at least 5 is interesting, because it gets at most 3 up. And so what that means is this region definitely includes all of those. So this can be... And already we have a problem where I have to get rid of my pink and yellow, because I don't know if this is any of those, but that's probably more interesting. Because in order to get to at least 5, I have to go down at least 3. Okay. So these are all in one region. And these are, I know, in different regions. I just don't have a way to notate it yet. Let's see. Okay, so... and these 2 digits are both bigger than this digit. Because these 2 digits count all the cells this cell counts, but they also count more... Okay, they have to count at least one more cell. So first of all, actually, both of these are pink. Because if one of these was not pink, then it would be the same value as that cell. So these are both pink. One of these 2 also has to be pink. But both of these have to be bigger than that. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. And in particular, this can't be an 8 or a 9. Because that would repeat the value. And I don't think this could actually be a 7. Because if this was 7, 8, 9, that would mean there were 7 cells in this column, but there were 3 cells outside of this column. That's too many cells. So this can't actually be a 7 either. Because I know there's a minimum of 3 cells over here. Actually, no, I know there's exactly 3 cells over here. Okay, so there's exactly 3 cells over here, and so that means I actually have an edge I can draw in. I can actually draw in this edge. Because if these 2 were both in the same region, that region would need to be pink or not pink, and either way, these 2 would be the same digit. This is a very cool rule set. I like this a lot. Okay, so... Oh, we need a betting tree. That's right. We do need a betting tree. Oh, betting tree, betting tree, ba-do-ba-do-bo, betting tree. I don't know. We'll make the betting tree there. If someone has done this puzzle and can consult the oracles on where the betting tree would be best, I will be happy to do it, but I know that Penpa doesn't support that. Okay. So smart point from Carl, that means this cell can't be pink, because if this cell was pink, it would definitely be the same as one of these 2, because it would count, again, everything these digits count, and then either 0, 1, or 2 of these, and whether it counted 0, 1, or 2 of them, it would count these. Okay, so therefore, this cell is not pink, interestingly. Okay, so that doesn't let me draw in an edge, does it? Annoyingly, I think that does not let me draw in an edge. But this cell's definitely not pink, I agree. If that cell's not pink, I know this cell is pink, because remember, I know at least 5 of these cells are pink. So that gets me an extra pinkening down there. And so now, I now actually know what's happening, because, row 6, column 2. Okay, let me move the betting tree, and then we'll fix it. Row 6, column 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. There we go. Okay. So, oh no, sorry, I was wrong. I was going to say, because I know that it's 3 of these cells over here, and 3 plus 6 is 9, but I am miscounting how that works. Okay. So, we have all of that. If this cell is pink, it's pretty small, because there can't be a lot of pink cells that this sees. I know that cell's not pink. Do I know if this cell is pink? Because remember, I have to fit 2 regions in here. Do I know that neither of these is pink yet? If this was pink, That would require 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, that would work. That would just work. If that cell is pink, I think it just works. So unfortunately, I think this cell can only just be pink, but I could be wrong. This cell being pink, I think, is going to create a... Oh, this cell being pink definitely doesn't work. Because if this cell is pink, then it's definitely going to cut off this cell. So this cell definitely can't be pink, because just definitionally it's going to cut off that. Oh, right. Sorry, good point. This can't be pink, but I have to be a little bit fancier. I have to remember that this digit's at least 5, so I actually know there's another pink in this column, plus at least 3 pinks over here. That's at least 5 pinks. I only have 1 pink left outside of the highlighted cells, and if I only have 1 pink left outside of the highlighted cells, this definitely isn't pink. So I can return these 2 cells to having colors. They can be blue and green. Oops. Now, blue has to escape through this cell. If blue doesn't escape through this cell, blue is going to get trapped, because blue's not pink and this is a border. So all of these instantly become blue. Blue. Which then means green is going to do that whole trick. And the puzzle's broken, right? No, the puzzle's not broken. This cell just is 1 more than that cell, right? Okay, so this is 2 or 3. Blue still has to get out, though. And then green has to get out here, again. Now blue has options. And these 2 have a white dot between them. We can put that in, I believe. Yes. Oops, I have to do it on draw on edges. And I think I want extra small, right? Extra small. Extra small. Thank you. There we go. These 2 have a white dot. Okay. So blue goes up. This is a 2, and that's a 1 and a 2. I'm trying to figure out what happens if green goes down here. Or if green doesn't go down here. One of those seems like it's going to be broken. If green doesn't go down here, this is a 1, and then that's a 2 and a 3, but that's actually okay. That's all fine. But this is interesting in terms of it dueling with this. So let's see. So Garion says, right. There's a 1, 2, 3 triple in row 1. Okay. So yes, there's a 1, 2, 3 triple in row 1. So this digit's at least 4. Thank you, Garion. I would not have seen that for a while for whatever reason. And so therefore, I know that my green goes at least down this far. Blue is getting at most 8 cells, so blue always takes that cell. So we can draw in those. Can draw in that. Right, this is known. Right, good point. Carl points out, yes, this digit is a 3, because I just know it sees 3 cells. So ta-da, we get a 3. We get to bring in Zach for the 3 dance. Ba-ba-ba-da, wah-ha, ba-da-ba-da, wah-ha, ba-da-ba-da, wah, ba-da-ba-da, wah, wah-ha, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba, wah-ha, ba-ba-da-ba-ba, wah-ha. Thank you, Zach, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that, because given that this is a 5-star KNT puzzle, it might be your only one today. But now, as Carl points out, that immediately places this and this, and therefore that, by Sudoku, because I can't repeat the 3 in green. That lets me draw in an edge here. That makes this a 2. Makes this blue. Now pink has to go down, because remember, pink is at least 5. This is a 3, and so this is certainly not any of the existing colors. So this is a new region that goes over at least this far. Okay, so now either that cell is yellow or this cell is yellow. One of those things at least is true. These digits aren't 3, I should probably note. So this is a 1 or a 2. So this cell's never yellow. If this cell is a 4, then it forces this region to be yellow. Is there any way that this and this, is there some reason that's broken for that being all yellow? Maybe not. I actually think it is because of that cell, but not in a way that I'm comfortable using. Excellent, Jeremiah. Or sorry, Jemima. Sorry, I misread it at first. Okay. So, have I learned anything about the nature of blue? I don't think so, because I think still it could be that all of these are blue. So I think people want me to give an ugly argument that this can't be, that this can't all be one region. Yeah, I didn't want to because it's not going to be pretty, but it definitely is going to screw over some cells up here. So first of all, if these are all yellow, that definitely is yellow, because otherwise yellow is going to trap it in connecting, and the same is true of that. And so then yellow looks exactly like this. Oh, sorry, that's too many cells, isn't it? No, that's exactly the right number of cells. So yellow would be exactly this if that's true. If you've learned nothing else about me, KNT, learn that I don't count cells. Let's see. So this is assuredly, though, now broken, because this clue and this clue are both 4. So that doesn't work. So this is not a 4, because if this was a 4, then it would have to be yellow, because otherwise yellow would be cut off. And I don't know how I accidentally entered the wall mode. Oops. I don't know what I did. So that's a 1-2 pair, which means this is a 4. And that being a 4 means it is yellow, because that's the maximum that we can do. So we're going to get yellow in these and there. So we've got all of that. And so now this digit is at least a 5. And it's certainly a 5 or a... Oh, no, it could even be a 7 or something like that, I believe. Okay, so this is a 1-2 pair, which is interesting. Okay, I know this 1-2 is not green, because green already has a 1 and a 2. So that's definitely not green. And I think I already argued that this cell isn't yellow. Because if this cell is yellow, then this would need to be a 4, and it can't be. So this cell is not green, and it's not yellow, and it's not blue or pink. So this cell is certainly a new color. I don't know if I want to mark that yet, but it's certainly a new color. Let's see. That's a smart point from Ilm. These can't be 9, because the maximum they can possibly be is 6 plus 2, which is 8. So these are not 9. Or alternatively, Penpo would like me to make them both 9, whichever you prefer. Oh, that is interesting, Carl. Yellow needs a 2. So it would be really natural for yellow to take a 2 there, which would... Oh, but yellow can't take a 2 here. It would be very natural, but it's not possible. Because if yellow takes a 2 here, then these are all yellow, and then yellow's actually a 3. That doesn't work. So yellow's 2 is actually coming from this row. Or maybe this row, possibly. Yeah, neither of these cells can be a yellow 2. So yellow's 2, actually, I think, has to come from one of these two cells. Right? Do we agree with that? Yellow's 2 comes from one of these two cells? Because that's the furthest yellow can get, because it's already at 7. Or row 4, column 7. Oh, or row 4, column 7. You're right, sorry. I am wrong. This could be a 2. Yep, that's right. So this could be the yellow 2. In any event, that means yellow certainly isn't growing up here. Because yellow needs to grow 2 cells in order to get to any of the places that I just highlighted that could be 2. So yellow could grow here and here. That might happen. But yellow's not growing anywhere up here. So, like, this cell's not yellow. Currently, green is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cells. Okay, so of note, green's already at 7 cells, so this can only be at most 6, while I'm marking up things that are markable. Because if this were more than 6, green would have more than 9 cells. Okay. Okay, this can't be the 2, is Jay Dyer's point. If this was the 2, then yellow would look exactly like this, and now this cell would be a 4, so that's not the 2. So now the 2 is in one of these two places. And either of these being the 2 means this is definitely yellow. And in fact, I know what digit it is. It's definitely yellow, and it's a yellow 5, no matter what, because one of these two is the last yellow. So I can add more edge to yellow. That's cool. So yellow takes one of these two, making this a 5 no matter what. Okay, so this digit's a 1 now, whatever it is. And it can have a color. It can be red. Red comes out at least to there. Right. This cell can't be yellow anymore in any universe. Good spot. So yeah, one of these two is our last yellow. And it's a 2. This isn't a 5 anymore, for whatever that's worth. What is this cell? This cell can only be a 6 or a 7. So the yellow 1 is here, Carl points out. Very smart. Because yellow needs a 1. And remember, the digit over here is a 2. So these are just from 6, 7, 8, 9. There's definitely a 9 marked in this column. So all of that is cool. Okay. Oh, right. Now we have to ask, Jay Dyer has a beautiful point, which is that blue needs a 1, and that's a serious problem, because blue's not getting a 1. until it gets to row 5 at least. So blue needs to go at least to here in order to get a 1. It's not getting 1 in this region that it's trapped in. So this is the first cell that blue could possibly have a 1 in. Can draw in that edge, draw in that edge. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells. So blue only gets 1 more cell. Okay, blue only gets 1 more cell, therefore this cell is definitely pink, because that cell can't be blue anymore. So that cell is definitely pink. And one of these two is pink. Do I know which one? I don't think I do. I do know that this cell is not pink. That is certainly true. Chad is pointing that out. I had already decided that because of this edge. Because that edge implies this edge. But I can draw it in just for clarity. Because maximum clarity is always a good idea. And pink gets 1 more cell. Pink gets 1 more cell and it's up here for sure. Because I can't make both of these blue, or blue would be too big. And so therefore, pink doesn't grow anywhere else. So that lets me fill in that this actually is a 5. And that this is a 7 and a 6. So these are not 5. Okay. And yeah, one of these two is a blue something. Or sorry, is a pink something. It's a pink 8 or 9, actually, because it can't be a pink 6 or 7. Which is very interesting. So pink's 2 is actually in one of these cells, which provides a weird 2 X-wing between these, because now I know the 2 in each of these rows lives in that, which is bizarre, but somehow true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, right. One of these cells has to be blue, because if neither of these cells is blue, then pink now is 10 cells, which isn't going to work either. So the point is, blue is actually done in this direction. And so therefore now this is the blue one. Okay, so that is nifty. So let's go ahead and make this orange. And orange goes down by at least 1, but notice cutely that this 2 would break if the orange doesn't go down at least 1 more. So this cell's also orange. So we've got some orange action happening over here. We can just barely manage to have orange take neither of those cells, I think. So we've got that. I probably should be gratuitously pencil marking because this is a chaos construction, and that's what chaos construction puzzles are all about. Oh, pink needs a 1. It's being pointed out. Pink needs a 1. It's going to go in one of these 2 cells. For sure. So these 2 cells, at least. Actually, let's pencil mark all of these. So these are not 1, 2. They could be 3, 4. They're not 5, 6, 7, and they could be 8 or 9. For these things. Okay, Jay is looking at row 3, column 6, and saying that this is a 1, because if it were a 2, this would be a 1, and now this cell's isolated. Because we're saying this cell's not in this region. So could this cell possibly be green in that universe? And the answer is no for some reason. Right, the answer is no, because if this cell is green, now this cell's isolated. That's complicated. But I agree with Jay, this can't be a 2. It creates too many problems. So that's a 1 and that's a 2. Which means I can draw an edge in there. which is quite interesting. So I know that this cell... so now I know where the yellow 2 is. That's the point. The yellow 2 now is here. So now yellow can be ringed around the border 2, which I know is very satisfying for people. Very satisfying for me as well. So the yellow 2 is here. This is a non-yellow 2. This is something else. So these two are a color. That color is not one of the existing color. Maybe it's red. Oh no, is it possible that these are red and that red goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Actually, that's very likely, isn't it? Why does it break if this is all red? Maybe it doesn't break. I know this cell certainly isn't any of the existing colors, but I also don't know anything about this cell. I know that this cell's red. Can at least do that. So I will take that. Let's see. Someone says some cell is 7. Row 1, column 8. Right. This cell is done. Right. Good point. Okay, so this is now a 7 because it's done. So these are not 7. I can get rid of the corner marked 9. So that is nice. Row 7, column 4. Pink 2. Where is the pink 2? Great spot to Jeremiah. Pink 2 is placed. Or sorry, Jemima. Darn it. Sorry. Jemima. I'll get it. This is the pink 2. And then the question is, where's the orange 2 now? That is a good point, because now the orange 2 now has to be at least as far as this column. So one of these two definitely is orange. Which is interesting. The fact that this cell's not able to be 6, 8, or 9 is going to be important. These two are in one region. Good point. They can't both be orange. Crispy says, because if they were both orange, even I'm willing to do the counting that doesn't work. If they were both orange, orange would be 11 cells. So at least one of them is orange, but they're not both orange, which is enough for me to draw a border here. So that is something. So is the point going to be that this can't be orange? No, if that were orange, it would work if orange did something like this, I think. Yeah, that's okay. Otherwise, I might have a region coming in like this. These are different regions? I'm trying to understand why these are different regions. If I know these are two different regions, I know this is a 2. I think. Oh no, I guess this could be a 2 or a 3. So I know the 1 in this column is over here. Okay, so the problem is so the fact that I know the 1 is in this column, is that the point? Because if the 1 comes down here, I have to place another 1 somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't yet understand what's wrong with this. Oh wait, now I think Carl is saying it is this. I feel like chat has flipped. Because I feel like before it was being argued that orange couldn't take this cell. And now I think it's being argued that orange can't take... So I think now chat is believing that hypothetical universe is right, and that we're actually trying to break this kind of universe. Where orange would have to break out to this cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the problem is that now orange can't get... Because orange's 2 would have to be here or one of the adjacent places, and orange can't take a 2 any of the adjacent places. So I don't think that... I think this can't be orange, so I think this is orange. And so if this is orange, then by connectivity nonsense, all of these are orange. And so this at least is another region. Let's make it... Let's see. What color have we not used yet? Purple. This cell can be purple. I know purple has to get out to there. I know orange has to get out still. And now, right, so purple has to go up because it can't be a 1. And the question is this being 2? I know this has to be purple as well, because these would be the same if this wasn't purple, so that's purple. But if this is a 2, is that going to make orange unable to get a 2 anywhere? Because I don't think this can possibly be a 2, can it? Because orange is already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cells. Right. Orange can only possibly at best take 1 more cell, and this cell's never the orange 2. So this cell's always the orange 2. And so as soon as that's a 2, this isn't a 2, and so that's purple. Now, actually, if I count orange again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that means only a maximum of 1 of these cells is orange, which means at least 2 of them have to be purple, which means that purple does have to back its thing up to there at least. So purple is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already. So this digit just is a 3 now. And so this is at least a 4, and it can be at most a something. So I know where the blue... Oh, not quite. The blue 3 is now in one of these 2 cells. Because those are the only places that blue could get a 3. That's not a 3. I should mark while I'm marking things that are things. This cell just is an orange 5, Jay Dyer points out, which is very good. So the point is from Jay is this can't be orange, because if this was orange now, it would be an orange 5. That is a very smart spot. So, in fact, orange ends here, which means we know how it finishes. So this is orange. Betting tree is orange. Congratulations to anyone who had an orange betting tree. Let's see. So we've got the 2. Okay. So what else can we do? Is it going to be a problem if this cell is purple? So if this cell is purple, it's going to have to be a 4. So I think if this cell is purple, then purple looks exactly like this, minus the cell that is in pink. So I think if this cell is purple, this is purple. No, that's not true, sorry. If this cell is purple, sorry, I'm not counting correctly. If this cell is purple, it's at least a 5 already, so that's okay, never mind. Hey, Glum Hippo, how are you? I do believe Jay earlier pointed out that this can't be a 1-cell region because of the 1 looking at it. Maybe I should just ask where purple's 1 is. It's not getting a 1 there. Purple only has 2 more cells to go. So purple either takes its 1 in one of these cells, or alternatively, purple does... Oh, actually, purple doesn't have enough cells to get to this... Oh, it does if it does exactly that, doesn't it? Purple could stick its nose all the way over there. So we've got that. Isabella points out purple also needs to have a 2, which is going to be a problem. Potentially. Let's see. Can I do any meaningful Sudoku on 5s? Because I've got a bunch of 5s in the grid now. I guess I know one of these 3 cells is a 5, which doesn't quite tell me much. It's interesting to note that this cell needs to be one of these 2 numbers. Because whatever this digit is, it needs to appear in column 4. And it doesn't have a lot of options as to where it's going to appear in column 4. I think I now actually know that green doesn't take this cell, don't I? Because if green takes this cell, now this region can't possibly finish. So I think I now know, and maybe I've known for a long time. I don't remember. I think I was afraid this could be yellow for a while or something. Oh, no, I was afraid this could be red or something. I don't know. I was thinking this cell could be red. It still might be red. But in any event, green certainly can't take that cell. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, so these 2, I'm going to... Oh, right. These could still be red, so I can't give them a color. But I can give this a color, because this isn't any of the existing colors. So we can make that brown. And so the brown can only possibly get 2 more cells up here, so it needs a whole bunch of cells down here. And so whatever this is, it's the same as that, it's the same as that, because this is not brown. And again, this thing is taking at most 2 more cells. It's at most 5, so this needs to go down. And so now, again, brown up here can get at most 2 more cells, so that means brown has to come down. And as soon as brown has to come down, this has to come down as well, whatever this region is. It's probably red. So we've got brown coming down there, which has created an edge there. Brown is definitely at most... So far, brown is at most 5 cells. It's got to get 4 more. So brown is always taking this cell. If this cell's not brown, brown can't finish. So brown always actually takes that. which creates another edge in there. Ooh, I have a dinosaur dancing. What is the dinosaur dancing to? I can't read it. Thank you. Whatever the dinosaur was dancing about, I'm sure it was a good thing. Thank you from Zach and I. If I had Streamlabs up, it would tell me, but I don't. But thank you. Oh, well, welcome to being a new kind of patron, Glum Hippo. Thank you very much. We'll get a little dance from you from Zach. Thank you, Glum Hippo, from Zach and I. Much appreciated. Okay. So these two cells now are forced to be either purple, brown, or green. Interestingly, this digit is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This digit's at least a 5. Oh, Chad is pointing out something much smarter, which is that this digit literally is a 4 because I actually can count all the cells and it just is a 4. Somehow I thought it was more important to pencil mark the one that could be 17 things. Okay, so that's a 4. Does that do any interesting things? Maybe not immediately. Oh! No. I was going to say something that was wrong. Well, I guess the point is if this is red, red either goes down or red continues that way, because this can't be a 4 anymore. Row 7, column 6, says Crispy. That's that one. Oh, must be higher than 5. I think I know, by the way, I should know it can't be a 9, right? Or does the math work out that it could be a 9? That would be obnoxious. Does the math work out that this could be a 9? Because I would then have, let's see, I have 2 more purple cells, and I have 2 more, oh, obnoxiously, it could be a 9. That's horrible. But Crispy says it can't be 5. Oh, right. Because the point is there's an edge over here. And no matter how brown grows, well, brown can't do that, for example. If brown got no cells from here beyond this, then brown would be a 7-cell region at most. So this is not a 5. I agree. After much contemplation of Crispy's point, I agree with and understand Crispy's point. Okay. Let's see, Andrewsarchus says if purple takes this cell, it will be a 3. Agree. So does that mean purple always takes this cell? No. Okay, so this can't be a 1 because of the arrowage, and it can't be a 2 or a 3. So this is at least a 4. Several people are pointing out in chat. Jay, perhaps the most, but I think Jay and Andrew are sort of working on this together. And this thing has to be a new region. So we might be out of new region colors. But we can make it blue because it's not going to touch the other blue region. And so if it's at least 4, it's going to have to go at least that far. Wait, do I know this isn't brown? Am I 100% certain this is not brown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. It's not brown because if it was brown, that would work that way. Okay. So this is not a 9. Anymore because blue can't be brown. Because oh, you're right. Sorry. In my brain, this was only a vertical clue, but that's not. That is not, in fact, what this clue is. That is not how the math works. So my suspicion is if this goes down, it breaks, but I could be wrong. See, Martin's suspicion is it can't go right. Oh, that breaks line. If it goes right, I think it breaks line. Does it? I don't know. The one in purple is in column 5. How do I know that? Or maybe I should say, how do you know that? Because I think I've kind of given away that I don't know that. I also think green line is red. I have thought green line was red from the beginning. Like, this just looked too perfect for it not to work that way. Blue isn't brown. I think we know that blue isn't brown, right? If blue was brown, then this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cells, but this wouldn't be a 4 yet. So blue would need to be blue-brown would need to be at least 10 cells. Oh, do we have all the colors? Because we actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I need to actually highlight something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, yes, that's the point. We actually have 9 colors. And if we have 9 colors, we have to attach this to something. And we certainly can't attach it to blue, and that's the only thing we could plausibly attach it to that isn't blue, so it's red, by counting all the colors. I think I have literally never once in my life spotted a we have all the colors deduction, but chat is always all over it. But we have all the colors, and therefore this must be red, and so red is done. So that is nifty. Okay. Crispy does the Nurikabe thing and notes that I can't get here with any other region, because this only has 4 cells left, so this can only be blue. And so then by connectivity, this is blue, because if it wasn't, it would get squished by blue and not be able to get enough digits. So we've got our little water filling in the tank at the bottom there. So 1 in this column can only go here or here. People are looking at 1s in chat, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on with 1s. So my 1 in this column goes in one of these 2 places. My 1 in this column goes in one of those 2 places. Ah, but these 1s align with the 1s in pink. So this is a little Jovi-ish wing on 1s. So the 1 in this column can align with the 1s in that column. So therefore, that takes up the 1s for these 2 rows. So these are not 1s. And that's not a 1. So this is a 1. And therefore, that's not a 1, and this is a 1. So I'll write a 2 in it. That won't cause confusion. It's funny that we don't actually know whether this is a Jovi wing or an X-wing, because we don't know the region geometry. If we knew the region geometry, we would know whether it was a Jovi wing or an X-wing, but for now we don't. Uh, uh, okay, so purple gets its 1 in one of these two cells, of course. So if that cell's the 1, it's purple. Correct. You only actually need 2 regions in order to have an X-Wing in irregular. If you think very carefully about what the reasoning is behind why there's a difference between an X-Wing and a Jovi Wing, it can be a proper X-Wing in irregular with only 2 regions. Weirdly. Hey, Kuraban. Hope you're having a good day. Okay. Let's fill in this quadruple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not a 3. Ta-da! That is my contribution. A Jovi Wing is anytime you know where in a regular... Sorry, a Jovi Wing is anytime in a regular Sudoku where you know what boxes the 2 versions of something are in a thing. Let's see if I'll pull up a grid later. It doesn't work very well in a chaos construction. But it's basically an X-Wing that only uses 2 boxes, if you know what an X-Wing is. But I can explain it later when we have a 9x9 regular puzzle up. Sleeping and coffee is a great combination. God, last night I was in a meeting until, on campus until, 8 p.m., and they had coffee at the meeting, and it required, every ounce of strength not to, have coffee, because I was I have to teach at 8 a.m. this morning, and I was if I have coffee at 7 p.m. to keep me up through this meeting, I'm not going to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up and be dead. A good point from Isabella. This cell's not a 4 anymore, and actually at absolute maximum, it is 6 cells, so this is not a 7, 8, or a 9, which creates an interesting almost triple. Maybe we can call this an almost locked set or something, I don't know. But afraid not, I think this is actually an X-Wing, unfortunately, so I don't think I can. Let's see. Row 7, column 9. Okay. So Garion is looking at whether this can be a 2. And if this is a 2, it would have to be a brown one doing that or something. That's not going to work. Or a brown one doing that, which works even less. Two in purple lines up with... okay. So, purple is currently at 7 cells. And purple needs both a 1 and a 2. I think Chad is trying to convince me purple can't get a 2 here. Is it immediately wrong that purple... Or is it immediately clear that purple isn't getting a 2 here? It's not clear to me. Should I know if there's a border between these two? There's not intended to be a border between these two. I agree with Gary in that 2 in column 9 is very interesting, because 2 in column 9 needs to go in one of these two. I really, really, really believe that 2 can't go here, but I don't feel I can, in good conscience, say that I've proven it. So I'm going to try not to have to use it if I can avoid using it. Why is there a border between these two cells? Oh, yes, there's definitely a border between these two cells. Never mind. I agree. I know that that's one purple and one blue. So yeah, there's definitely one of those. Let's see. Okay, so the only colors, so Woofer is suggesting I do it by cases on what color this is. So this region can only be brown or blue, and the ones I tried to do were making it brown. I think it definitely can't be a 2 in blue. So this could never be a 2 in blue, because blue would have to either come up to it like that somehow, in which case it's already a 3, or come at it like that, which has now isolated this cell. So it can't be in blue. So it would have to be in brown. But I think the point is, brown, in order to do it, would have to do that. And that isolates this cell. I think that's the proof that people are suggesting I use. Because of it's basically, it would isolate this cell. So yeah, that I buy it. I'll use it. It doesn't feel convincing, but it feels convincing enough. Okay, I think Jay's argument is actually a little bit nicer, which is that whatever this is, I need to actually stick to the boundary, because I can't isolate something against a boundary. And so I think Jay's proof probably actually proves that this can't really be a 2. Is the real point, Naverio, that this can't be brown? Because if this is brown, something goes wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Has something gone wrong if I make this brown? Because I guess the thing is, if this cell is brown, all of these are brown, is the thing that sort of ties together Jay's argument in the nicest way. Because if this cell is brown, I can't fit a region between brown and this border, so all of these are brown. So what's wrong with this being brown? So then brown would automatically look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Brown would have one more cell to go. That cell would be this cell, because this would need to be not a 4. Do I already know where brown's 2 is? Oh, I mean, I know this is a 2. That's not what we're talking about. The thing we're talking about is Navario's point that this is that I shouldn't think about the 2 at all. I'm very won over by Navario's point that thinking about the 2 at all was a red herring. And that we should think about this. Then blue's arrows have a ton of 5, 6s. Because blue would look exactly like this. I don't know. That sounds like Naverio is leading me down an even messier path, I fear. Okay. So I'm going to instead look at what happens with purple's 2. So purple's 2, remember purple only has 2 cells left, so purple can't get over to here. So purple's 2 now can only go in the same places that purple's 1 can go. And so this is a 1-2 pair in purple. is what chat has wanted me to do for forever. But purple still has one more cell left to go. It's either this one. What would this be if this were purple's last cell? It would be a 6. Seems okay. Yeah, where is the 2 in this column? I should just know it by Sudoku, shouldn't I? It's not there, 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 there. Oh, it's there, isn't it? Oh, I guess it's there or there. But as Woofer says, the point is the 2 in this column is in one of these 2 cells. Oh, it's not that one, because that one has a 2. The 2 in this column is here, which now means that this is this cell is blue, just by virtue of the fact that blue is the only color left that can take it. And so, therefore, this cell can't be brown anymore, because as we said, if this cell is brown, then it's going to be a 4, unless brown also takes that cell, which doesn't work. So this is blue. And so now this is a 3, a 4, or a 5. Well, it's not a 5. So this is either a 3 or a 5, which means that these 2 are in the same region. I don't know what region, but I know they're in the same region. So there's no border between those 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so if these 2 are blue, they're the last 2 blue cells. Otherwise, these 2 are brown, and then who knows? It is being pointed out that I can Sudoku. Like that. Okay, so what is left in pink? Let's fill in those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I have any interesting Sudoku stuff to do with these 3, 4, 8, 9s? Maybe I do not. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, Naverio has a very nice spot, which is, remember I said these 2 are both the same color. So that color is either blue or it's not. If it's blue, hilariously, this is a 5, but this is also a 5, and that doesn't work. So it's not blue, so this is a 3. So that is not a 3, and so therefore these 2 cells that are the same color are brown, because they're not anything else. This can have that edge filled in. This can have that edge filled in. So I think KNT wants me to ask if this cell can really be brown or blue. So it can't be blue, because if it's blue, it's certainly a 2 or a 3, and it can't be either. In fact, actually, what's the minimum this cell can be? The minimum this cell can be is 4. And if the minimum it can be is 4, we've said it can't be blue already. If it were brown, I would need all of these cells to be brown. And the problem is that's way, way, way too many cells in brown. So therefore, this is the last digit in purple. And we get that. And so now we can fill in the digit. Because it's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 6. And so, therefore, these digits I can fill in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is now known to be a 5. And so this is now known to be a 4. And this cell is now known to be brown. So we get that additional browning going on. We know that this isn't a 6. This column only has a few things missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7, 8, and 9 again. Sadly, those are numbers I can't do a whole lot of things with. Carl points out an easy win, which is that green needs 2 more cells, and the only 2 cells it can get are these 2. So green is done. Thanks, Carl. So that goes in like that. Let's see. So these are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I don't really want to pencil mark that in, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is already at least 7. And it's not ever going to be 9. So this is 7 or 8. Just by magicses. Let's see. And so now, remember, brown needs 1 more cell, and blue gets the other ones. So brown can't take this cell, because if brown took this cell, it would be a 2, and it can't be. So that cell is blue. For sure. And by virtue of being blue, we know what it is, because I know one of these 2 is blue. Actually, maybe I don't, actually. Which is it? Okay, so if that cell is blue... if that cell is blue, this is a 3, which it can't be, so therefore that cell is blue. And therefore blue is done, and therefore that cell is brown. And so therefore we can finish edging in everything else. Do I have all of my borders in? Oh, sorry, my coloring's not done. I thought my coloring was done, but that was a lie. I don't actually have my coloring done. So this is a 4. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8. I did completely believe, Jay, that by uniqueness we needed an 8 or a 9. That's what I learned when I was setting Keep Talking, that if you set a puzzle like this, you need to make sure there's an 8 or a 9 in the puzzle somewhere. Otherwise it does not work. So the 8 in this column is in one of those 2 cells. Okay, so this isn't a 3 anymore. Maybe we should start with that. So therefore these are 6, 8, 9. So therefore that's a 3. So these are not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're not 8. So these are 6, 7, or 9. But this one's not 6 or 9 because it's got a 6, 8, 9 triple looking at it. So that's a 7. That's not a 7. These 2 are now a 4 and a 5, actually, and I know the order even. These cells are now my 6, 7, 8, 9. Sven, help me. I can't do this without you. But that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple for the column. So now this is a 5. Just by that. Hey, Perla, congratulations on your feature. So that is a 5, so that's not a 5. Not a 5. Try again. Not a 5. So we've got that. So now... so this digit I know is this digit. Purple 5 is placed. Because of that 5. See, Sven was supposed to tell me that that couldn't be a 5, but he didn't. He is being lazy today. So that's the purple 5. Let's see. Let's fill in these. They're not 1, 2. They could be 3, 4, not 5, 6, 7, not 8. They could be 9. This one is not a 7. That might be all I know. This one's not a 4 or a 6. This one's not a 3 or a 6 or a 9 or a 4. So this one just is a 7, if you carefully look at all the options. So that's a 9, making that a 6, making that a 3, making that a 4. So that 6 has now made that a 6, because those digits were the same. This is not an 8 anymore. This is a pair of 3, 4, no, not 4, 5, and 9. So if those are a 5-9 pair, these aren't 9, so those are a 7-8 pair, so therefore this is the other thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6. So that's not a 6. In fact, now... Oh, it's not quite there. We're close. That's not a 6. So this is an 8 or a 9. It's not a 5, so therefore that is a 5, and that's a 9. That's not a 9. That's not a 9, and that's not a 9. Row 4 has some extra 7s that it doesn't need, so therefore that's an 8. This isn't 7 or 8. That's not an 8. Smart point to Jemima. This isn't a 4 while we're talking about extraneous numbers. So this is a 3, 6, or 9, except it's not a 3 or a 6, so this is the 9. Making that the 6 and that the 3. No 6 there. Oops, I don't think I did that right. No 6 there. No 6 there. No 3 here or here. This one's not a 9 either. That one's not a 9. That 4 looks over and actually has made that an 8, meaning that's not an 8. This is something. Possibly. It might not be anything. I'm not sure. This might be one of those puzzles where there's some blank cells in the end. Yes. This green is a 7, making that an 8, and that a 7, and that a 9, making that a 4, making that not a 4, making that not a 4. This cell is, for the column, a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, but it's not a 7, 8, or 9, or a 6, so this is a 5 for the column. Let's see. There's a 9 in blue already, so that's an 8, and that's a 3. This is not a 9 or an 8, so this is a 7. So these aren't 7. Blue is still missing 2 digits. It's missing 2, 3, 4. Blue is missing a 4, which has to go here. 3, 4, 5, and a 6, it looks like. So whichever of these is a 6 is blue, and whichever of these is not a 6 is pink. In fact, therefore, neither of these is an 8, because the digit that pink needs is a 9. So these are actually a 6-9 pair. So by that logic, this is an 8, which is a 6 and a 9. And I refuse to believe that there's any simpler way I could have said neither of these cells was an 8 than the complicated way that I just did. So we've got that. This isn't a 7 or a 9, so it's an 8. So that's a 9 and a 7. And that's an 8 and a 9. This is not a 3 or a 9, so it's an 8. These 2 digits are one of them's a 3, apparently. That one's the 3, and the other is a 4. So we've got those. These could be 6 or 9, or one other thing that the column is missing. Or 7. 6, 9, or 7. This one is not the 7 or the 6, though, so this one's a 9, making that the 6 and the 9. So now we have to remember what we said about colors, which is that blue needs a 6 and pink needs a 9. And so we can fill this all in like that. And then we can go back to say, okay, so now this is a 7. And now we get to do our betting tree. 5, The bedding tree is a 6. So congratulations to the blue outside border. Thank you. That's why it's not popping answer check, I believe. Congratulations to all the 6 bettors out there. May all your bedding tree wishes come true. Lovely puzzle, KNT. I enjoyed that one a lot. That was very smooth. Nothing too terrible in there. Why would anyone use the green lines for borders? The green lines for borders are so ugly. But yes, that was a lovely puzzle. Yeah, I know I get through your chaos constructions at about 1/100th the rate you produce them, because I think you produce about 2 per day, and I think I do about 1 every 6 weeks. So I guess that means I'll get to them all eventually, ? But very slowly. Alrighty. The black borders, I feel, don't really need widening, but all the other lines need widening. The black borders are like the only ones that I feel like are actually thick enough for stream. But yeah, the others I think are whatever. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break, and I will be back shortly. So I'll see you all in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. I realize I need to set up the rules. There we go. Now we've got the rules. Although somehow, for whatever reason, now it shows up a little bit like, I should probably adjust my window capture just a little bit so it shows my, it shows the whole title bar. I don't know why it's moved like that, but anyway, next up, somehow I've moved this. Oh, I moved it for the 6x6s. Let's see. Okay, so let's try and get the whole grid in there all at once. Okay, there we go. Okay, so row column labels we can turn on. Yeah, I used to not do puzzles that CTC also did, but then at some point I was like, whatever. Mostly, actually, because people kept voting for puzzles that Simon had already done, and I figured, well, if anyone cared, they wouldn't vote for the puzzles that Simon or Mark had already done, so it's like, whatever, multiple people can do them, and if people like them, they probably want to see multiple people do them anyway. Alrighty, so what's going on here is that we have arrows, so the digit in a circle is the sum of the digits along the arrow. So the classic trick is to note that all of these digits have to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. By the way, to someone who's done this, I assume there are multiple audience members who have. Does someone have a betting tree that they're able to officially recommend for this? I would appreciate any betting tree recommendations that are possible. But let's see. We'll look at those. Okay, what else is going on? Jovi Wings versus X-Wings. That's a good point. Let's do Jovi Wings versus X-Wings. So a thing that will often happen in a puzzle, let's just imagine that I had pencil marked 1s in these cells, and I'd pencil marked 1 in these cells. So if that were the case, the consequence of that is that I've claimed the 1s in row 5 and the 1s in row 6, and so therefore that would force there to be a 1 up in one of these two cells. Now, the interesting thing about that, and so that's a Jovi Wing. The thing about that is that the logic I just said is correct, but it's not really the easy logic. It's not the logic it's the logic how I usually end up seeing it, but it's not the logic how you're quote-unquote supposed to see it. Because the way you're supposed to see it is you're supposed to see it by asking where the 1 goes in row 4, and then the answer to where the 1 goes in row 4 is that the 1... well, it can't go here because that's in a box with 1s. It can't go here because that's in a box with 1s, so therefore it has to go in one of these cells. That's Jovi Wing logic. And that is distinct from X-Wing logic, which is that if I knew the 1 in column 1 was in one of these cells, and the 1 in column 9 was in one of these cells, so let me just highlight all of those cells that I just said. The 1 in column 1 being in one of these two cells means that, and the 1 in column 9 being in one of these two cells means that. Well, now my argument before about the rows is correct. I must have the 2 1s in row 5 and row 9 coming from columns 1 and column 9. But that's all the 1s I get for column 5 and 9. And so therefore my conclusion is none of these cells and none of these cells are 1. Which is exactly the same logic that I gave when I explained the Jovi Wing to start with. Except now I can't give the simple version. This is not just putting a fancy coding on a hidden 1. This is actually using... this can't be replaced with box logic instead. And so the distinction between X-Wings and Jovi Wings is because Jovi, who is a classic aficionado who really, really spends a lot of time trying to understand and communicate the various classic techniques and the logic behind them and how they all work. And so Jovi's likes to point out that Jovi wings are not in fact actually logically X wings. And so thinking of them so making a distinction between them is useful in that regard, particularly if you're going to try and also think about all of the various other sorts of fish and various other kinds of classic-y kinds of things. Okay. So that is, and thank you for reminding me, by the way, I think that was Sarah who asked that. Thank you for reminding me. I was going to say that, and then, sorry, no, it was Liz who asked, but thank you for reminding me. I was going to go over that and then completely forgot. Okay. So I saw a point in chat, which is that, well, two things actually. One is I didn't mention this diagonal at all in my rules explanation. This diagonal needs to have the digits 1 through 9 once each. And in particular, it needs to have an 8 and a 9 on it. And those 8 and 9 are not going in this box, because, spoiler, this box already has an 8 and a 9. So they're going on this diagonal somewhere. And what that means is that between all of these circles, I only get 1 8 and 1 9. And so among these circles are at least 2 6s and 7s. Now, why they're called fish, I could not tell you. I know that they are called fish. And I think at some point I jokingly tried to explain that in a picture of a swordfish, you could see the 3 things. But I don't know. There is not a good reason for that. So I'm trying to decide if I think it's a problem if both of these are 6 or both of these are 7. So like if those two were say 1 2 3 each, it would put 1 2 3s into the corners. That seems okay to me. Oh, the problem is this. So if this is 1 2 3, now these two digits are both at least 4 because they see both of them. And likewise, if this is 1 2 3, it sees both of these. So these would have to be like 4 4 or 4 5, and this would be an 8 or a 9. Is there a problem with one of these circles being an 8 or a 9? Probably, but I haven't figured it out yet. Is it possible that this is like an 8-9 pair and this is a 6-7 pair? It is not possible that that's true. Okay, so here's an interesting note. Yes. Okay, well, this can't be... I was about to say this can't be a 6-6 pair, which would... I mean, it's true, it can't be a 6-6 pair. But I think something interesting happens if these are a 6-7 pair. Because if these are a 6-7 pair, then I know that there's a 1 and a 2 on each of these. And so where do 1 and 2 go in this box? They go in these two positions. But now, maybe that's okay, actually. I don't quite see why that's broken yet. I feel like, but the fact that, of these, there's going to be like 1s and 2s on lots of them definitely makes me suspect that I'm going to get a 1-2 pair on the diagonal somewhere, because of that. Okay. Garion has the way to see it, which is very closely related to this. What Garion's point is, what if there's a 1 on all of these arrows? And the point is, if there's a 1 on all of these arrows, the puzzle's immediately broken, because the 1 in this box goes on the diagonal, but the 1 on this box goes on the diagonal too. So that's not going to work. That's a very good spot. So Garion's point is, therefore there's an arrow that doesn't have a 1, And so, therefore, the arrow that doesn't have a 1 is a 9, 2, 3, 4 arrow. And yes, Chad is mentioning, David and Chad is mentioning, a week from Friday, I have a work Christmas party during stream time. So instead, Tristan is going to stream. So be kind and gentle and loving to Tristan while he streams and does some puzzles for you. It should be fun. For you and for Tristan. I'm quite fond of the fellow, you might have noticed. Okay, so there's a 9, 2, 3, 4. And this shouldn't be a huge surprise because literally the deduction in every arrow puzzle is that one of the 9s is a 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so Jay points out the same is true of 2s. I can't put a 2 on every arrow. And there is a 2 on the 9 arrow, there's a 2 on the 6 arrow, and there's a 2 on the 7 arrow, or there might be 2 6 arrows or 2 7 arrows, who knows? Well, I know, because I know where this is going. And so now, what is the arrow with no 2? It has to be an 8, 1, 3, 4. So we have a 9, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry, I was going to do that center marked. We have a 9, 2, 3, 4. And so now we have to have an 8, 1, 3, 4. And so now I have 4 on both of these. If I now had 2 7s, I would have 4 on all of these, and I wouldn't be able to put 4 in the boxes. And if I had 2 6s, I would have 3 on all of these, and I wouldn't be able to put 3 in all the boxes. So there's a 7, 1, 2, 4, and a 6, 1, 2, 3. That's the total accounting of all of our arrows, is that we actually get all of those forms. And so the point is, these cells are a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple, because there's going to be exactly one pair. Wait, no, that's not true. Wait, is that true? Sorry, maybe I'm wrong. So there's going to be exactly one arrow that doesn't have a 1. No, it's not true. No, it is true. Right. The point is there's going to be either these two both have a 1, or these two both have a 1. Whichever of those things is true, it's going to put a 1 on the diagonal in that box, in one of these two spots. And then the same exact logic is true of 2s, 3s, and 4s. So these are a 1, 2, 3, 4. Woofer, the reason is because the 8 and 9 that are given mean I only have at most 1 8 and 1 9 in these circles. So I can't repeat the 8. And I had to use an 8 for the 1, 3, 4. So I can't use an 8 for a 1, 3, 5. Is the answer to your question. Okay. So now, as pointed out, where do the 8 and 9 go on the diagonal? And so now the 8 and 9 on the diagonal go there and there. And now we get to go back to my point that I saw to begin with, which is sweet, which is that this can't be a 1, 2, 3 anymore. Because if this is a 1, 2, 3, now these digits are each at least 4, and this would be an 8 or a 9, but it can't be because it sees 8 and 9. So this is not 6 anymore, and this is not 6 anymore. I knew that was going to help. Okay, so one of these two is 6. I don't quite know what to do with that yet, but I want to see what happens if this is 1, 2, 4. If this is 1, 2, 4, then this is at least 6. But this being 6, so this would be 6 or 7. That's okay, actually. So I think that's all okay. So yeah, one of these two is 6. What do I do with the fact that one of these two is 6? So if this one is 6, then this one is 9. That's the point. 6 and 9 go together. I think. So if this is 6, I look over into this box. No, maybe I'm wrong. Because I have to put 1, 2, and 3, but who knows? Being 7 is still interesting, because it's still 1, 2, 4 would still make this have to be big, but I don't quite know how big yet. Oh, I know this triple. Let me fill in that triple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what goes on those. And so therefore these digits are from 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that tells me anything yet. I guess it's worth filling in, actually, because that's going to get me a quad in the column and the row, because these arrows all have digits only from 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that actually has bought me a 1, 2, 3, 4 column, triple in the column, quad in the column, and 1 in the row as well. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what that does. Presumably something. But whatever it is, I don't see it yet. So it's the two these have in common that go on the diagonal, whatever those two happen to be. And then the other ones go, one goes horizontally and one goes vertically. So the point is, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 is not on this, it is on this, and so it goes in the row. And so we have a virtual 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in row 2. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I know this one's not 8 or 9, because there's a virtual 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple looking at it. So this is only from 5, 6, or 7. The same is actually true down here. Whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 is not among those, it is in one of those two. And so these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but this one's not 8 or 9. It's from 5, 6, or 7. Okay. And then the same is true of this column. Whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 is not here is in one of those two cells because it's there. And so these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so if these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well, I guarantee this one's not a 7, 8, or a 9. This can only be a 5 or a 6. That can't be a 5. And so therefore this is a 1 or a 2. Okay, that finally gets me there. And so same is true over here. Let's do that first. So again, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 is not here, it is here. So it's in that vertical slot. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, this now can't be 5. And this can't be 7, 8, or 9. And so this is 1 or 2. And so these 1, 2s tell me that these arrows don't have both 1 and 2 on them, which tells me that these arrows are 8 and 9. And so remembering that I have one of each, that tells me that these arrows are not 8 and 9. These arrows are 6 and 7. Whew. Cool, cool. We are happy zetas so far. Okay. Garion points out I can get more Sudoku goodness by asking myself where this goes in column 2. Because in column 2, the only place this digit can possibly go is down here. 5, 6, 7. And likewise, the only place this digit can go in this column is down here. So this is not 5, 6, or 7. It's an 8 or 9 as well. Okay. Now, of course, the rest of these digits are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I want to fill that in? That's not a 9. These aren't 8. And now I do have an 8-9 pair in this, so the other thing down here is a 5, 6, or 7. Coloring 8-9s is interesting. Let's try coloring 8-9s. I'm not that hard to sell on maybe we should color the 8-9s. So let's make that O and that X. So that's X, that's X, that's O. Let's see. Okay, so that's O. So is there any way this cell, well, it's not a 9. Is there any way this cell is an 8? No. So this cell's not an 8 or a 9. Interestingly. That's right. I do need to install my magic marker. Is that what it's officially called? If it's not officially called the magic marker, it should be renamed the magic marker. I will get it at some point. Ranks has this little button where you click it and a picture of Mark Goodliff pops up off the bottom of the grid, and then suddenly every cell is pencil marked. Let's see. So some folks would like me to mark these 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruples. I'm trying to see if I actually know anything. Like, that actually could be an 8 or a 9. It seems actually medium likely that that's true to me. So I know 3 and 4 are in here, for example. Oh, okay, interesting. So Carl has made a good spot, which is very hidden by my pencil marking. Carl's point is I have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in this column. So this cell cannot be 1, 2, 3, or 4. But I need a 1, 2, 3, 4 in this row, so it goes there. And so this cell can only be a 6 or a 7, because it's not an 8 or a 9. And I bet I could do a very similar thing over in this column, where I say this is not a 1, 2, 3, or 4, so therefore that's a 1, 2, 3, or a 4, and now this can only be a 6 or a 7. Or 5, 6, or 7? This could probably be 5. Yeah, 5 is also possible. 5, 6, or 7. So maybe I have to color the 5, 6, 7s. It's interesting because these 2 digits are these 2 digits. I mean, I believe the coloring is going to eventually produce a result. I just don't know what result yet. But I mean, eventually I have to put an 8 here. I think that's going to be what happens. I'm going to say that I think the entire puzzle is going to be broken when I prove that this is an 8-9x. I could be wrong, but that's my bet. Because if this is an 8-9x, then it's going to resolve basically everything. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4s here. So we can put in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 there. That's not a 9. That's not an 8. We could put in a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Not a 9 there. And then over here, we don't quite have our 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. So we can't quite do that yet. Is there any way this digit is... Okay, what's the biggest this digit could be? I guess this digit could even be as high as 6, can't it? Well, that's irksome. Why can't the 6-7 arrow be 3-4? What's wrong if this is 3-4? I don't quite see it. Oh, this is a good point. This is something I should have filled in a long time ago. Thank you, Liam. These arrows that are 6 or 7 have a 1 and a 2. So these digits are not 1, 2. These digits are from 3, 4. So that is very helpful. And in fact, I was going to say something that's not useful. These two are a 3-4 pair, but I don't think that's actually useful at all. Hey, Kodak. Okay. Yeah, both of these 3-4s are there and there. That's true. Did we still believe that this had to be 3-4? Or sorry, that this couldn't be 3-4? I think someone saw that these couldn't be 3-4, but I never understood why. I know one of them has a 1-2. Where is circle in box 2 and box 8 if circle equals 9? There and there. Haha. Gorgeous. Okay. So, circle in box 8. So circle in box 8. Sorry, circle in box 2 is definitely in one of these two unconditionally, because this cell can be neither 8 or 9. So one of these two is circle. Where is circle going in this box? Well, only in one of these two cells. Because circle's not here or here, and I can't put circle in a 6-7 arrow. So the point is, these things are... Circle is pushed into these cells, and so we have a Jovi wing on circles, which pushes circle into this column, but that makes circle 8. Okay, so circle is 8. X is 9. Oops. Okay, so the 8 is 1, 3, 4. That's not an 8. The 9 is 2, 3, 4. It's not a 9. So therefore, that's a 1, and we get to do a digit dance. Woohoo! Ba 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 da ba ba waha. Ba da ba da ba ba waha. Ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba ba waha. Ba da ba 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 wah. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Much appreciated. I know the 1 dances are always a lot of work. So these aren't 1s. That's a 2. These things aren't 2s. Those things aren't 8s. That's not a 9. That's not an 8. That's not a 2. That's not a 1. That's not a 1. That's not a 2. These aren't 9s. That's apparently not a 2 either. That's not a 1. Good point. Woofer points out if this is a 6, then this would need to be an 8, but there's already an 8 in the box and everything else that's wrong with it. So that's a 5 and a 7. So therefore, this is a 6, right? I think these two circles had to be different. Did I really know that these two circles had to be different? Yes. No, maybe not. Maybe I did not, in fact, know that these two circles had to be different. Well, if I have to try and prove it later, I'll try and prove it later. That's a 6-9 pair, so therefore that's a 5. So therefore these are not 5. That's not 5. Well, I've now placed 5 in this box in this column. So now this is a 5, and so this is a 6, so they are different, and I don't have to think about it anymore. So this is not a 6. This isn't a 5 or a 6. That's not a 6. That's a 7-8 pair, looking at that, making that a 5. Meaning those aren't 5 either. No 8, no 5, no 9, no 5. This isn't a 3 anymore. So and this isn't a 4, because if this were a 4, that would have to be a 2. And there's a 1 and a 2 on the arrow. So this is a 1 or a 2, and so this is a 4 or a 5 to make that work. Again, oh, this is a pair of 1 and 2, I believe. No, not 1 and 2. 1 and 7. And so that 1-7 pair makes this the 6, meaning that those are from 1, 2, 3. Which then bounces over and makes this the 7, because remember, we couldn't repeat them. Where we would have Sudokological problems. These aren't 7s. These aren't 6s. Tony tells me I can place 7 in box 9, but unfortunately I read it after I place the 7 in box 9. So we've got all of that worked out. Oh, so this is 1, 2, 4 now. And so if that's 1, 2, 4, then this is 5 and 1. So no 5 there, no 5 there. No 5 there either. No 1 goes there. So therefore the 1 goes there on the diagonal. So that's a 3-4 pair. So now we can write in these two. These are a 2 and something. 3, 4, 5. 2 and a 6. To go on the diagonal there. No 1, no 1. Yes, this 1, 2, 4 looks at that, Carl points out, which is very true. So this is a 3 and a 4. Making these a 2, 3 pair. Making that a 4. Making this not a 1 or a 3. Not a 1 or a 3. Which makes this a 5 or a 3, except there's a 3 in the box already. So this is a 5 and a 2. Making that a 4. Which now is going to, I think, just mean that this is all going to sven its way through the system. So this is a 2, a 4, and a 3. A 7 and a 1 and a 9. Let's see, 2, 3. This is a 4. I want to avoid any accidents. These are 6, 7, and 8, I believe. That one's not an 8. If this is a 6 or a 7, this certainly is not a 5. And if this is a 7 or an 8 with a 6 or a 7, this can't be a 3 or a 4. So this is a 1. So that's not a 1, that's not a 1, that's not a 1, that's not a 5. That's a 6, 7 pair, so that's the 5. So that's the 5. This is the 9 now, because the box has a 6, 7, 8 triple. So this is not a 5 anymore. These are not 9 or 5, for that matter. So that's the 5. while I'm doing things that aren't 5, I might as well also do things that are 5. So that is an 8, making that not an 8, which makes that an 8. These 3 digits are 3. Apparently the 3 goes there. I probably could have figured that out if I squinted at it really, really hard. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Of course, that's not a 9. But again, if this is a 6 or a 7, this can never be a 6, so that's a 9. And if this is a 6 or a 7, again, this can only be a 2 or a 3. It can't actually be a 4. So no 3s there. This is actually a 6 and a 9 and an 8. These aren't 1 or 2. That's not an 8. Let's see. The point is because these 2 are consecutive, they're either 6, 7 or 7, 8. So this is never a 7. So this is always a 6, which then makes that a 7 and a 6 and an 8. And a 7 and a 6, and a 7 and a 6 and a 7, and a 6 and a 7 and a 9, and a 7 and an 8. And now I solve the equation 9 equals 6 plus x, and x is therefore 3, making that a 4 and a 3 and a 1, and a 2 and a 4 and a 3, and a 2 and a 1 and a 3, and a 4 and a 2 and a 1, and a 4, and our betting tree is a 2. Congratulations from Zach and I to all of the 2 bettors out there. Very well done. May all your betting tree wishes come true. That was delightful, Twototenth. I really loved that. Hopefully Twototenth is watching this later. But that is a really impressive puzzle there. I liked that a lot. Lots of really neat, intricate interactions there. Alrighty. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll be back, and we'll do more puzzles. So fear not, more puzzles to come. Be right back. By the way, I realize I have not actually asked you after the coat fiasco earlier. If you have not yet done so, please take a minute to like the stream. It really helps people find the stream. So if you haven't, it would be greatly appreciated if you would take a second to click the little thumb up icon. It will make the world a better place. Or at least make my world a better place. All right, I'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. I don't get tons of requests for puzzles just from random people, but I have had a lot of requests for this particular puzzle. So I am eager to see what this is all about. So it's interesting because after Simon did this puzzle, then I suddenly had a lot of people being like, you should do this puzzle. So should be interesting. This is by ZegreS. So we shall see how this goes, but I believe it will be very fun. So we need to find the path of this marble going from here down to here. And the marble can only drop or go sideways. So it's going to go this way, some way, drop, turn, drop, turn. I guess it doesn't technically have to turn each way. So I think it could drop, turn, and then drop and turn that way, or whatever it wants to do. Cannot visit a cell more than once. Digits in a cage. sum to the given total. However, cells in the marble's path do not contribute to the sum. Yeah, Jay Dyer points out it could drop twice. I was thinking that, although that would be a little boring, but it might do that. We'll see. So we ignore those when counting the thing. So for example, we know there is no possible path in this 15 cage, because if there were any path in this, then I would have to make 15 in either 1 or 0 cells. So my marble, oh, sorry, I'm in edge only mode. I need to be in center only mode. The marble makes it at least to here before dropping. Oh, bye, Ambrose. Enjoy it. As I said, I have heard good things. One of these 6s must have something missing from it, because I can't do 2 6 sums in this. In fact, actually, no, not quite necessarily, but interesting. So I can at least make the marble go to there. There are lots of these cages where obviously the marble has to visit the cage at least a little bit. Oh, okay. So here's the way to think about this. It can't go down. That's the key point. If it goes down, it can't go this way anymore, because that would kill the 8 cage. I would have to make 8 and 0. And so it would have to keep going down, but now I have missed my opportunity to hit either of the 6 cages. Oops. So at the very least, it goes 1 further. So that is green. And now actually the same is true of this 6 cage. If it drops down here, then again it's going to have to ruin this whole 6 cage. So that's not possible either. So we're going to have to go at least to there. Sorry, at least to there. Before dropping. So this is not in the path either. So these things all count. Reminder, this is either 6-9 or 7-8. And so this is a few options. Okay, so now... and that doesn't work either. If it drops now, we have a more complicated problem, which is that if it drops now, this becomes a 6. This becomes a 1, 2, 3, but now I have no way to make this 6 cage work, because if I can't use 1, 2, or 3, the only way to make 6 is to use a 6, but then I would have 2 6s in row 2, which I am not allowed to do in this particular puzzle. If the Cogito gets their hands on it, then we might be allowed to do that. Okay. So we know the marble certainly never gets that far. Because if it got that far, again, it would wipe out this whole cage. So it actually has to drop quite a bit in here. Because it can't do that even. So it's going to have to actually drop straight down at some point. It's either going to drop straight down there or drop straight down there. Oh, yeah, but when I was greening these, what I was really thinking is the marble doesn't turn there. I probably don't actually need to green them yet. Because it's possible the marble turns backwards, is the point. Okay. So if the marble goes down here, do I know it doesn't do that? Maybe that's even possible, annoyingly. So if one of these 6 cages is a 1, 2, 3, does it break this 9 cage? I don't know. Oh, smart point. Okay, Sarah makes a smart point. Actually, wait, is it a... I can't have both a real 6 and a real 8 in these, because there either is a real 6 or a real 8 in here. So the question is there something wrong with me using both 1, 2, and 4, 5 in this to make 6? Because now none of these 6s are ever going to be in 3, because I have to go down through this cage, otherwise my marble's not getting to row 9, column 1. So I either have 1 2-cell sum and 1 1-cell sum, or I have 2 2-cell sums. Directionary points out this cell definitely is, in fact, actually green, because otherwise the marble actually comes from this side and then wrecks that. In fact, isn't the same true, actually, of all of these cells? Because the only way the marble is ever coming is left in row 2, so I think, actually, by Directionary's argument, I think these are both green as well. Oh, no, not necessarily. Wait, no. I think this also has to be green. If this is not green, then my 6 cage I got there by coming through it. Yeah, that's green. And now once that's green, that means I have to have dropped before I got there. Okay. I think I believe that. So... I'm being cognizant of avoiding breaking all the ways of making 8. Because I'm pretty easily, if I make this a 6, then these are going to be 7, 8. And then the only way I can make 8 is 3, 5. So... does something break if I drop here, or break if I drop here? Let's see. Nicholas says it breaks if I drop here. And the problem is I need to hit one of these cells in the 5 cage. And so I need to hit one of these cells in the 5 cage, but not all of the cells in the 9 cage. And so I'm now definitely approaching the 5 cage from this side. So I know, for example, that this definitely is in my path. So I actually know I have some path going back like that. And so I need to not clip off all of the cells from the 9 cage, which I will do if I go over here. Oh, maybe not, actually. No, that doesn't work. That obviously doesn't work. So if I go here now, the problem is now I have to drop. Well, if I keep dropping like that, then I now have wiped out the 9 cage. Well, what's my other option? My other option is that I do that, but now I've put 2 6s in this. So Nicholas is right. I don't think there's anything nice about this deduction. Like, this is a horrible way of seeing this deduction, but this absolutely drops here. There's probably a more elegant way to figure this out. So now we at least go there. So we've got one more thing there. So we now know this is definitely never visited. And now we know that if we visited here or here, we would ruin the 9 cage. So we can't visit those, and we must drop down and turn. And so we get our first digit, which is that we get a 9. And we get to bring in the 9 dance. Whoops. Zach fell down. Zach down. Thank you, Zach. Oh, you could still go left there. Oh, you're right. You're right. Ah, right. Okay, so right. It doesn't have to go down here. Never mind. It could go left. But either way, these are still green. So these are still 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. So the point now is, remember the 8 cage, I'm going to have to be a little bit careful with. Okay, people really want me to do math. So these cells add to 23 plus 6 is 29. Plus 6 is 35. And so the point is that I need 10 total to be covered in the path. And I can't have 10 total in the path if I only have 1 cell. Okay, that makes sense. So this actually comes down like this, tragically. So we actually get our 6 here is actually the digit we get. So that's a 6 and a 9. And this is 3, 5, as foretold. And so these are not 1, 5. These are not 2, 4. So now how am I making 6 here? It's got to be as 3, 6, right? Yeah, it's got to be as 3, 6. And so these digits are 7, 8, 9. But that one's the 9, because it's got a 7, 8 looking at it. And so... well, that's going to do something really interesting to this 10 cage, because this is really in the cage now. All this is real. So this 7, 8 means that now my path is actually going to have to blow up at least these 2 cells. So it's definitely going through those at least, no matter what happens. So we've got all of that. Okay. So if this turns down now, I have to make a 7 cage in 4. That's not going to work, so it has to keep going. But that's the furthest it can keep going, because if I went 1 more, I would wipe out the 5. So it has to come down and turn. Now, I'm going to double check that, because I think I screwed this up last time. But I think I'm right this time. I think it does have to come down and turn there. And so this is going to be a 5 and a 3 and a 5. So we have that. This is now forced to be 1, 2, 4, because it's 7 and 3. So now this can't be 1, 2. That's cute. Because if this were 1, 2, that's a very zeta E deduction. If this was 1, 2, I would have a quad. So this goes there and then turns down. It can't keep going because 7, 8 is not equal to 10. So this is either a 2 or a 3, and is green. So we've got that. Let's see, is there a Sudoku thing I'm supposed to be noticing now? There might be a Sudoku thing. Ah, this is now forced. That's the point. Because now, now this just is 7, 8, 9, because I can only possibly omit one thing from my 24 cage. Because I 7, 8, 9 only just sums to 24. And so that gives me a 7, 8, 9 triple in this column, for whatever that's worth. That 7, 8 goes there, so that's not a 9. This 12 cage needs 2 cells in it, so the 12 cage is not going to have anything else removed from it. So that is going to continue over like that. So these are now all green. I have not been keeping very good track of my greenaging. Let's see. So I know that there is a 7, 8, 9 in the 12 cage, and it's not there, so that's the 7, 8, 9. Whoops, that was exciting. This is a 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the 9 needs a cell in it, but I don't know anything about it yet. But that is a 7, 8, 9 for the row, for whatever that's worth. So the question is, can this go down and then do its dirty work on this 9 cage at a later date down in that row? And I'm not sure I see a reason why it cannot. It's possible I need to look at these two 9s together and think about the fact that, in particular, these two 9s have a 1, 2, 4 in the cage. And so actually I really need to have lots of red cells in here. Maybe I need to have so many red cells in here. Because the green cells here sum to at most... the green cells are allowed to sum to at most 24. And so how many cells am I allowed to have if my sum is at most 24? I'm allowed to have at most 6 green cells. So in other words, I need to red 2 of these cells. At the very least. So, Carl wants me to note that this 7, 8, 9, those two are the same 7, 8, 9. Let's orange flash that. Those two are the same 7, 8, 9, and so that 7, 8, 9 actually goes there. So that's orange circle. So the other two 7, 8, 9s are in this collection of digits. Okay. So the point is there's two 7, 8, 9s in here. So if I clipped none of this cage in this row, I think we would be very broken. So in particular, if I turn down, these cells can include two 7, 8, 9s. And so like maybe that's a 9 and that's fine. But now I have a 7, 8 in here, or 7, 8, 9 in here, together with a 1 or a 2. I now need to visit both of those. Maybe that's just possible? That annoyingly sounds just possible. Row 6, column 5 is less than or equal to 5. Oh, that's interesting, because this C is 6, 7, 8, 9. That's good. Okay. Good spot from Jay. Oops. I have to write the right thing in, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yes. So, actually, I can't delete this cell. So the thing I was trying to disprove actually is what happens. Because I'm always deleting one of these two, and if I delete this one, that doesn't work. So this has to go down. Okay, so the counterintuitive thing is the thing that happens. This has to go down. And now it has to go left, and it better keep going left, at least to here, because I need this I need to get at least that much out in order to break the 9 cage, but I'm actually going to need to come here too. But I might as well fill in some digits in order to see that. So these are not 9s. So that's a 9 as well. And now I know one of these is a 7 or an 8. And the other one's got to be a 1 or a 2, because I know all of this stuff is green. And these two cells need to sum to 15, so that's going to be green. And so these are going to be from 6, 7, 8, 9, except that one's not 9, so that one's not 6. If these were a 7, 8 pair, that doesn't work. Right? Do I really have a 7, 8 over here, or is that a lie? Is there really a 7, 8 over here, or was that conditioned on something else that I then screwed up? No, that's right. There really is. That 7, 8 pair gets pushed over here. So there's a virtual 7, 8 pair. So this is, in fact, a 6 and a 9. And so now, because these sum to at least 8, I can't possibly have an extra number. Because I can't have 2 1s. So, sorry, so I have to actually knock that out and then turn. One of these needs to be a 4, so that's not a 4 anymore. So that all works out, I suppose. Oh, this not being this being a 7, 8 means that's not a 3 anymore. That's a 4 or a 5. Seven eights going over down there. So this is not a 1, 2, a 7, 8, or a 9, or a 4. So what is this really? Okay, so this is not a 1 or a 2, because there's a virtual 1, 2 pair. It's not a 7 or an 8, because there's a virtual 7, 8 pair. It's not a 3 or a 9, because Sven. So actually, this cell is only a 4 or a 5, which together with that 4 or a 5 makes a 4 or 5 pair. So that's not a 4 or a 5. That's a 1, a 2, or a 3. Okay, smart. This is also not a 4. That's the point. Which also, Carl asked is where's the 5? But the thing I should have seen, I think, is I pencil marked a 4, and I actually said out loud it's not a 4, and then I made it a 4 anyway. So that's a 4. So that's an 8 and a 7 and an 8 and an 8. And these are not 8 or 1, so those are 2, 7. I think it's going okay. So that's a 7 and a 3. I think we did something horrible at the beginning of but that's okay. These are 1, 4, so that's a 2 and a 7 and a 2 and an 8 and a 7. This has become an 8 for reasons that I don't see. Oh, because there's a 7 in the box. That's why. So we can fill in all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not a 6. These aren't 2. Oh, and they aren't 1 either, because there's a 1, 4 pair. So these are 3, 6. So these are 1, 2. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not 9. I made up the 9. There's not a 9. These are not 3, 4, so those are a 1, 5 pair. So these aren't 1 or 5. Those are a 3, 4 pair. And now this is a triple that's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. So it's 5, not 6, 7, not 8, and 9. Not 9, not 5, not 7. These are a pair. Are 2, 3, not 3. 4, 5, 2, 6, I believe. Okay, so we've got all of that sort of Sudoku'd. I suppose we should Sudoku up the first row while we're at it. Sven will help. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are not 2 or 3 or 7. That one's not 9 either. So these are not 6, 4, or 9. They are 2, 3, 7. This digit is only one thing, which is a 1. This digit's only one thing as well. It's also a 1. These digits are a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That one's not a 9. That one's not an 8. And this can't be a 4 because it would repeat the 4 within the cage, and digits aren't allowed to repeat within cages. So this is actually an 8. So that is a 4 or a 9. It was a rather limited use. I thought this cage was going to do something if I Sudoku'd it hard enough. It probably will continue to do Sudoku things later, if I'm kind to it. So I think it's going to do like that or something. All of these are green is one of the points because, of course, I can't get past the 9 within this row. And I, of course, need to remove a bunch of things from this 3 cage. I'm not sure I need to remove that, though. Let's see. I probably need to be thinking about more Sudoku. Which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Carl points out this cell can only be 2 or 3, which is very smart, because this cell is part of a sum to 3. So it's either 2 or 3. I also keep wanting the marble to exit in row 9, column 9, afraid not. You are not alone in that. That's a good point. In order to nick the 33 cage, okay, so 57 Thorns has said this elegantly. I have to come at the 33 cage from this side, and then I have to go back. So I think I must do this, otherwise I can't get to the 33 cage at all. So I think that's my last bit. And so therefore this needs to have gone through there. Like that. I haven't decided exactly what this does yet. Oh, I'm allowed to take... Can I take 4 cells in a 33 cage? I could take 4 cells in a 33 cage. You're right. Yes, I could take 4 cells. I was thinking 4 was too many because 33 was a big number, but 33, it turns out, not that big a number. Yeah, the 9 in box 9 is definitely in these 4 cells, FJam is pointing out, and so I can't delete the 9 and 3 other digits. So I actually do the thing that I said, but I completely... I was thinking this was like a 38 or something, but it's not. But these two need to sum to 12 without being 4, 8 or 3, 9. So these two have to be 5, 7, I believe. And so that 5, 7 is going to hopefully do some Sudoku damage. I don't think it really did. This is a 2, 3, or a 6, I guess. 2, 3, or 6. Yeah, this is a quad, but I don't really feel like writing it in if I'm being honest. If this was a 1, then that would be a 2. Seems okay. Yeah, if this goes down here, that's not going to work, as Nicholas's point. Because if this goes down here, then it looks like this, and I don't get enough digits over here. I haven't really been thinking much about this box, because I don't really care about this box, but it certainly is true that I can't go down there. The really interesting thing is whether this goes up here or not, I think. I mean, maybe it's not, but that was at least my focus. So let's see. Okay, I am going to fill this in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 1, 2, 4, 6. That can't be a 6, so therefore this can't be a 6. Okay, so it was a Sudoku thing. So now this is a 2-3 pair, which is very interesting. So that's not a 2, that's not a 2. Does this being a 2-3 pair do something? Maybe this being a 2-3 pair doesn't quite do something. Or maybe it does. I'm not sure. Let's see. So I never visit this cell. So that cell's definitely part of my sum. If the marble visits this cell, then I've now only left 2 cells for my sum. That's not enough either. So this has got to go here. And now if the marble visits this cell, I still don't have enough. So in fact, that doesn't happen. And so my marble run happens like that. Yeah, so I was supposed to be thinking about this, even though it was very clearly telegraphed to me. I mean, to be clear, this is all in my head, but somehow in my head, looking at this was not useful, even though it was exactly what I was supposed to be looking at. I'm realizing now we didn't put down a betting tree. So yeah, so these 3 cells need to sum to 23 and 3. That only works as 6, 8, 9, so that is a 6. These are an 8, 9, so that is a 9 and an 8. No 6, no 6. That is a 4 and a 6 and a 9. And that's a 3 and a 6. That's a 7 and a 2. So this is a 3 and that's a 2. I really thought I was going to Sudoku my way through this, but apparently not quite. 6 and 2, 3 and 6, 4 and 2, 4 and 3, 9 and 4. That's a 3. That's a 5. That's a 7. So that's a 2 and a 7. That's a 9 and a 1 and a 2. These are a triple that I suppose I can write in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the 8 and the 3 and the 9. These digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. Oh, this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can write in that. That is 1, 7, 8, 5, 7, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 4, 1, 1, 4. And so we can just write in our quad, and Sven will finish it for us. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so this is 4, 2, 6, and 5. The non-existing betting tree was a 5. So congratulations to all of the 5 bettors out there. Neat idea for a puzzle. So this is the second puzzle. I think the idea of sort of like killer cages, but some cells unknown to you are omitted from the killer cages. I think that has a lot of potential. And like, this is certainly not the first puzzle that does it, and it won't be the last, but I think there probably are too few puzzles that use the killer cages, but some of them thing. Let's see, what does the marble run do? Where is the button? Start marble run. I'm not sure why, like, some of the things started, like, in the places they did. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Boop-a-doop. I'm not quite sure exactly how it works. Oh, you put a circle in? Oh, it's the circles. I see. Okay. Okay. So, okay, so we want to restart the marble run. No. Uh-oh, I might have broken it. Do I need to have a circle up here? Well, if I click start marble run, will it now do it? There we go. Okay, so now we get an extra one. Whee! Whoop-a-doop. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Whee! Yeah, I think my favorite puzzle that did that was Nordy made a laser puzzle. I think it was Nordy, right? That used these little lasers that would delete cells from cages. That one had some really interesting like grid coloring logic going on to it. But yeah, I think this is a cool idea. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with another puzzle. Okay, let's do the weirdest looking puzzle I've ever seen. So this is a Glum Hippo puzzle. So it's normal Sudoku rules, but with the following incredibly bizarre additional hypothesis. If two digits of the same parity are vertically adjacent, the upper one must be larger than the lower one. Okay, so that is very interesting. So, for example, I'm somewhat restricted on where I can put 1 in this box. So, for example, I could not put 1 here, because 1 and 9 are the same parity, but that is not larger than that. So, in fact, I know that this digit is even. So this is 2, 4, or 8 immediately. And I can put 1 here, or here, or here, maybe. Let's just do the easy thing. That's 9 by Sudoku. We can do our 9 dance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I should also put down a betting tree. We'll put down a betting tree there. So let us continue looking for 9s, because 9s seem productive. There's a 9 down here, and the 9 can't go there, because if the 9 goes here, then there's a 7 above it, so that doesn't work. So the 9 in this box is in one of these 2 cells, which means the 9 in this box is in this cell. So this digit must be even, and it's not 2, 4, or 6, is Afraid Not's point. So this cell can't be odd because it would be below, have a 9 above it, and it's not 2, 4, or 6, so therefore it's an 8. Very clever. These cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, not 3 or 4, not 3. This can't be a 2 sitting above a 6. This can't be a 1 or a 5 sitting above a 7. This certainly can't be a 5 sitting above a 1. So we've got all of that. Oh, I have not yet placed this 9, Nicholas points out. So now that's a 9, and that's a 9, and I think now we've got all the 9s. Why was it row 8, column 9 couldn't be a 9? Oh, wait, you're right. So, sorry. Glum Hippo's right. This can be a 5. The upper one is the larger one, right? It can't be a 1. I said that one backwards. Did I screw up something with a 9? I don't remember what the logic around it was. I feel like it was... I don't remember what we were doing with row 8, column 9, but I don't... I think we'd already placed something... I think it was some Sudoku reason to answer Carl's question, but I don't remember. But I don't think it had anything to do with weirdness. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are not 7, that's not 3, that's not 3. So this can be 1, 5, or 7, and it works regardless. Did I pencil mark 9s wrong? Let's see, we can go back and look at it. So we were here. I seem to have placed a 9 here, but maybe that was wrong. No, I can't put the 9 below the 7, so that 9 is right. So then next I pencil mark 9s over there. But I think the point is that I pencil mark 9s over there, even though that could be a 9, and there's no reason why it can't be. So yeah, I think you're right. I think I screwed that up. So I don't think we have the 9s as nailed down as we did in our fantasy universe. 9 in this box I know is in one of these two. 9 over here is in one of these 3. 9 down here is in one of these 3. 9 down here is in one of these 3. Oh, I don't know. I'm screwing up these pencil marks. Okay, I'm going to stop pencil marking 9s. I'm apparently incapable of pencil marking 9s. So I think we should look at something else instead. This, though, that deduction was still good. This afraid not spot is still good. This digit has to be even because it's above a 9 and it's not a 2, 4, or 6. So afraid not's earlier deduction that this cell is 8, that is still good regardless. So we've got that. So now 8 is... Oh, no, 8 is not just placed because of that, sorry. Okay, so afraid not's point is to look at this cell. So let's carefully write in all the options and talk about them one by one. So it's not any of those things it can't be by Sudoku. It can't be 5 or 7 because it's below a 3. And it can't be 2 or 4 because it's above an 8. So it just is a 1. Good spot to afraid not there. So let's just write these in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these aren't 2. This can't be a 4 or 6 with an 8 below it. This can't be a 5 or 7 with a 9 below it. I think that one's okay regardless. I think these are all okay regardless. Okay, so Oh, I screwed up row 1, column 7, I'm being told. That's possible. Oh, I think I thought I was erasing something. This is not 4 or 6 because of that. So this is 5 or 7. I did remove the wrong digit, you're right. It's still true that this can't be 5 or 7, though. This could be anything, though. Let's see. I do know that one of these two cells is a 7. 7 above a 3 would be nice. Let's see. Let's see. Andrew points out this digit has to be even because the only odd digit bigger than 7 is not available, and this is not an 8. So this is a 2 or a 6. Oh, it seems not to be a 6. Oh, it's not. Okay, so this just is a 2. Once you realize that it has to be even, 2 is the only available one. Same thing is true over here. This needs to be even because it's not a 9, and it's above a 7, and it's not 4 or 6. So this can only be 2 or 8. That's that's Sarah's point. And so we can do the same thing with that 7, because there's a 9 there. That 7, because there's a 9 there. So these are also from 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is just a 4, making that an 8, making that a 2. Good spot to Andrew there. So these are a 1 and something. 3, 4, 5. 1 and 5. I don't think that's restricted at all from the rules. Row 2, column 6 can only be even, and it's not a 2 or an 8. So this is a 4 or a 6. So that's the 8 in box 2, FJM points out. So that's now a 2. These are not 2. These are only from 4 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are from those. 3, 2. So let's see. So this is definitely odd. So it can't be a... Oh, no. So this can't be a 5, is the point, because a 5 would put an odd that's lower than it above it, and you're supposed to have the big odds on the bottom. Let's see. People would like me corner marking 2 in one of these cells. Oh yeah, 2 in column 9 is just here. That's a good point to afraid not. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not a 6. That's not an 8. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not a 7. That's not a 7. That's not a 4. Let's see. This can't be a 4 either because it can't have a 2 above it. This can't be a 9 because it would have a 5 above it. So if this is a 7, that's a 5, funnily enough. If this is a 5, it puts a 7 below it. So it is a 9, is Afraid Not's point. That's a good spot. This is a 9, just by Sudoku. So this is a 9 by Sudoku. So that's a 9 by Sudoku. So is that all the 9s? That looks like all the 9s. So this is not a 5 or a 7. So every cell above a 9 is even, is the point. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, but it's not 4 or 6. Yep, sounds good. 7 in box 6 is a good spot to Philippe, so that's a 7. This is not a 7, so then this can't be a 5 either, so this is always even. So we've got 7s over something like that, I suppose. Oh, there's a 4-6 pair, so that's a 2. Carl and Nicholas were pointing that out. Every cell below a 1 is even, right? Okay, so the 1 is in one of these 3 spots in row 7. Is Afraid Not's point. Not sure it does much for us yet, but it probably will at a later date. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That is not a 4. These aren't 3. So that's a 1, 4, 5. So that is a 3. 3 can't be above a 5. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are from 1, 5, 6. This can't be a... No, it can't be a 1 above a 3. Sorry. I will try and do this backwards until this puzzle's over. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not a 1. This can't be an 8 below a 6. Let's see. So someone had some smart point about 2s going in places. So Sarah had a point about every cell above 2s has to be odd. So we have to place 1 in... Wait. Placing 1 in column 1? What? I'm confused. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are not 3 or 7. That's not 7. That's not 7. Oh, this 1, 4, 5 triple that I noticed in the box, Carl points out, makes that a 6, which makes that a 4 and a 6. Makes that not a 4. So this is not a 6. I don't think there's anything about above 2s, Andrew. I think above 2s can be literally any digit. It's below 2s where there's a problem, but do I have any 2s that I haven't cleared out below? I don't think so. That 5-7 pair looks over there, which places a 7 there. Means that's not a 5. No problem. This puzzle is very confusing. This can't be a 1 because the digit below it is odd, so that's a 2. To be very clear, I knew that this puzzle would be very confusing when I read the rules, which is why I did it. I got what I expected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not a 4. This can't be a 1 or a 5, so that's actually a 4-6 pair. So this isn't 4 or 6, and that's not 6. This is a 1-5 pair. This is a 1, 3, or 5, and it's not a 3, so this can only be a 1 or a 5, which gives me a 1, 5 pair in the column. Oh, and it's not a 5 because there's a 5, 7 pair looking at it. So that's the 1 and the 3 and the 5 and the 1. So that is not a 1 and that is not a 5, and that is a 5 and a 1. No, sorry. And a 5. Ooh, Sven is helping. That's not or that is a 7. Oops. I added an extra pencil mark instead of taking one away. Making that a 5 and a 7, which has made that a 4. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one of those is a 4, but the 4 can't go below the 2, so the 4 goes above the 2. These digits are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This can't be a 1, it would be above a 3. This can't be an 8, it would be below a 6. So that is the 8 for the column. Okay, row 1 has some interesting logic to it in that it is a 6, as Directionary points out. So that is a 1 and a 5, and an 8 and a 1, and a 2. Let's see, so these are from 3, 8, and something. What's the something? 2, 3, it's a 4. So this is a 4. Making this not a 4. Let's see. So these digits, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's apparently a naked single 6. Making that a 4 and a 6. Making that a 2. So these digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is a 1, 3 pair. We know the order it goes in. It has to be the 3 over the 1 with a 4, and the 3 and the 5 and the 1. And the 8 goes there with the 3 and the 8, and the 5 and the 1. This digit is a 1. This digit is a 3. That digit's a 5, and our betting tree is a 2, not a 2. Sorry if you got your hopes up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The betting tree is a 7. Very interesting. The constraint is neat, although I imagine this is the kind of constraint where you A, need a computer to set it, and then B, after you place 3 clues, then everything is forced. But the rule is fun to play with. And it was exactly what I expected from the description. Oh, wow, you didn't set this with a computer? Wow. I would be terrified that I would set it and then all but a few... I'd get to the end and then realize, oh crap, I've put a 2 above a 4, and then have to start over again, which would be like my ultimate nightmare. Ah, maybe Glum Hippo is the computer. That's possible. And you actually set like 2 or 3 of these, didn't you, Glum Hippo? Because I remember when you were talking about this, I was like, oh yeah, I was interested in doing this, but then realized that it was going to be an adventure. Alrighty, I'm going to pull up some 6x6s, so I'll be right back with some 6x6s. Alrighty, let's do this sexy-looking Andrewsarchus puzzle. So we have to do chaos construction stuff, so I have to break this into 6 regions of size 6 that each contain the digits 1 through 6. Each region is bisected into 2 3-cell subregions by a black or white dot, and for each, the 2 subregions are connected to each other only by the cells which share this dot. Black dots separate digits in a 2-to-1 ratio. white dots separate consecutive digits. Only, interesting. I see 32 likes with 35 viewers, so my version is more optimistic than Nicholas's. But yes, if you've not liked the stream, please do. It really does help. Circles count the number of regions, including their own, in the surrounding 3x3. Not all possible circles are given. Okay, so right away, we have that this is some region, and it's got to grow there, and it can't grow here. So because it can't grow here, oops, now I need edge only. I keep switching between edge only and center only. It can't grow here, because then they'd be connected in more than one place, so this has to go there, and now this branch of this region is done. And because that can't grow there, blue grows here. But then we don't know exactly where blue grows after that. 37 likes now. Well, I'm happy with 37 likes. Although I would love 37 million likes. But, you know, it takes time. Okay, so this now, these are in one region. This side has to get out. So this side can't, so that's got to get out, and it's got to get out again. And so now this whole side of the yellow region is fixed. So we've got all of that going on. This now, we can draw in orange. Now this orange side has to get out, and so that side has to be orange. This cell can't be orange by the rules, so that cell has to be orange. These two, we can make them green. If this cell isn't green, this half of green isn't getting to 3 cells, so that cell's always green. So this cell's never green, so that cell's always green. In order that we do that. I know that orange can't grow any more up here. Oh, I literally know that orange can't grow anywhere but here, don't I? I just didn't actually realize that at the time. So in fact, all of that is orange. And so in fact, that is green. And so we can mark off that part of the greenitude. So this cell I don't quite know the value of. I just know it's 3 or 4, I suppose. Interesting. I really like this geometric rule. I think this is very interesting. So let's make this purple. Only purple can possibly take this cell. If purple does not take this cell, then nothing else can, because green can't even get to it. Now this cell can only be green, because if purple took it, I would have the wrong kind of connection. So this is green, and so green is done. This side of purple isn't done, somewhat fascinatingly, so that side is purple. So now that's not purple, so this is definitely purple. And so now we know what blue does, so now blue does that. I'm blue, da-dee-dee-da-dee-da, da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. Yeah, we know this cell's not purple. If this cell's not purple, it's something. I mean, it was something even if it was purple, to be fair to its sense of identity, but we need it to be something, so then red has to connect backwards like this. So now red needs to come here. We know that's red, of course. That can't be red, so red goes here and here, which makes yellow finish there and purple finish there. And so now we get to do a little region dance. Zach! Thank you, Zach. Much appreciated. So we have some circles we can fill in now. Although, frankly, that was fun enough. I might even enjoy the puzzle more if that was the whole puzzle. I feel like you could make like a Spiral Galaxy variant that was basically this. Okay, but let's count now. This is 3. This is 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5. It's a good thing that's not on a dot. Of course, the digit that's on the dot is a... Wait, no. I was going to say is a 4, because then it could be 2 or 8. But it can't be 8, because this is not one of the puzzles with 8s. So this is a 2. These are certainly from 1 to 4, for example. These digits aren't 6, for whatever that is worth. Right. This is from 1 to 4, because it's not 3, and so that's a 1, and that's a 2 below it, because there's no 3, 6, and it's from, so it's 1 from 1 to 4, but the 2 and the 4 are gone. So that is a 4 and a 2, or a 7, if you prefer. So this is the blue 4. Because the blue 4 can't go over there. So these are a 5, 6 pair. Let's see. If there's a 2 on this, it's there. The red 2 is on the dot. Magical, just by Sudoku. So this is a 2 with a 1 or a 3. Well, that's not a 3. So now the red 4 is placed there by an extension of Jay's beautiful observation. So one of these two is a 6. I don't know which one. So 2 in green is here, making this a 1 or a 4. Thank you, Carl. 5 in yellow is over here. So then 5 in orange is over here. So then 5 in green is over there. Afraid Not wrote that, and I think it was right, wasn't it? Because that gives me, this is a 6 and a 5, and then a 5 and a 5. These are, that was very well spotted. That's a 3, 6. These are a 1, 3, 6. This is a 1, 3, 6. This is a 1, 3, 6. It's not a 3. If this was a 3, 6, would this be a problem? Well, I know one of these two is a 6. In fact, I know these two are a pair. These are a 1, 5. Those are a 1, 5, and I know the order. So these are a 3, 6, and that's a 1, and this is a 3 or a 6. That seems to be a 5 now. So these are from 1, 3, 4. It's not a 1. There's a 3, 6 pair here, making that a 1 and a 2. Something's wrong with my pencil marks here. Oh, no, this just can't be a 1 or a 2, so it's a 3. And that's a 6. I'm just expecting Sven to do chaos construction, and Sven is not doing chaos construction for me. So these are a 3 and a 6 in that order. So these are a 2 and a 4. Wow. Third time's the charm in that order. This is a 6 in that order, and that's a 1. That was great. I really liked that, especially, again, the first part. I feel like the first part has the potential to be a really neat sort of pencil puzzle genre of this sort of like spiral galaxies, but they only connect at one point. That sounds very cool to me. I'd love to see more with this idea. Really neat puzzle. I like that one a lot. We don't do trees for 6x6s usually, Selena. Unless there is a popular uprising demanding trees for 6x6s, in which case I'm happy to add trees for 6x6s. But usually we do bets for 9x9s. By the way, I should mention, if you don't know, that I just pull these 6x6s from a thread that's on the Discord in my Discord channel. So if you are interested in submitting 6x6s for me to do at the end of stream, by all means, just go to the Discord on Puzzle Plaza, which you can click the link down below. You don't have to be a supporter or anything. Of course, I love my supporters, so if you are a supporter, great, thank you. But you can go on the Discord for free, and you can submit 6x6s for free, and then I'll do some of your puzzles. And yeah, we've got the periscope, we've got the cane. There aren't that many like pictographic examples in 6x6 or in 6 region chaos cells, but somehow in 9x9 I have lots of things. Yeah, the lazy 7 that is sleeping like down here. Very nice. All right, I'll pick out another 6x6 and I'll be right back. Alrighty. I feel like these rules are much shorter than they maybe somewhat belie the expected complexity of this. But we've got normal 6x6s, normal double arrows, and normal doubler rules. So the sum of these two cells is equal to the sum of these jajillion cells. So that's rule 1. We have doublers, which is good because I don't think otherwise that would happen. If a cell is doubled, that means it counts as double its value. So a double 2 would count as a 4 for purposes of that. So I could get the total of these two up a lot if I made both of them doublers, which I'm going to guess I'm probably going to have to, but I haven't quite done the math yet. Additionally, you can only have one doubler in every row and column and box. So, and in fact, there's exactly one doubler in every row, column, and box. And digits in doublers don't repeat. So if you double a 6 somewhere, you can't double a 6 anywhere else. Okay, so what is the minimum this could possibly sum to with no doublers? That would be 10 plus 6 is 16, 17, plus 3 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So the absolute minimum the line could be is 21. And so if I didn't double both of these, the minimum I could get would be double 6 plus 5. So I do, in fact, need to double both of these. Not a huge surprise. So I will mark all of these as not doublers. Oh, I don't know why. I've been using yellow lately as my doublers, but whatever. And so since I need to get at least to 21, I definitely need to have a doubled 6 in there. Because otherwise 5 and 4 wouldn't get me to enough. And in fact, I need a doubled 5 because a doubled 4 won't even get me there. So these are a 5-6 pair for sure. And so the actual sum is 22, which means I need to get 1 degree of freedom above, and Afraid Not has already found where the degree of freedom gets eaten, because I can't make these 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if I made these 1, 2, 3, 4, I couldn't put this digit in this box. So in fact, these have to be 1, 2, 3, 5, meaning that that's a 6 and that's a 5. And meaning that everything else is minimized, so in particular, no doublers. You are not allowed to double the same digit. So that is never allowed. So these are a 1, 2, 3. This is a 1. These are a 1, 2, and that's a 1, which means that's a 2 and that's a 1. Means these aren't 1. These aren't 2, so those are a 1, 3, so that is 2. So these aren't 2. This digit I can probably math out as a 4. And so these digits are a 4, 5, 6. I know this one's not a 5. So one of these two is doubled. One of these two is doubled, and it's not the 5 or the 6. So the one that's doubled is the 4, and therefore this can't be a 4. So this is a 6. So just to say that again, in case you're not used to doubler logic, I need a doubler in this row, and the doubler can't be a 5 or a 6. And so the only thing the doubler can be is a 4, which then makes that a 6. And so my double 4 is over here. And so if my double 4 is over here, now the only digits I'm allowed to double are 1, 2, and 3. Well, I'm not doubling a 1, 2, or 3 in this box, and so therefore I must be doubling this cell as a double 4. That's the only digit in this box I could possibly be doubling. So this is not a doubler. That's the wrong gray. It's too aggressive. That's not a doubler. This is a doubler. And so therefore this is a doubled 3, because now I only have 1, 2, and 3 left to double, and I can't double those there. So this is a 5. This is a 2. No, I try again, Tommy. 1, 2, 3. That's a 4. So we've got that. These are all gray. Alrighty, so this is a 5 and a 6. I need a double 1 somewhere. The only place the double 1 is going now is there, just by Sudoku. So that's gray. No, sorry, that's not gray. That's yellow. These two are gray. This is the double 1. That's the double 2. So that is a 3 and a 1. That's a 2 and a 5 and a 3 and a 1. These are a 5, 6 pair, which annoyingly I don't know the order of. This is a 4. These are a 2, 3 pair, which I do know the order of. This is a 5 or a 6, which annoyingly I don't know the order of. There needs to be a 2 in this column, and it's there. And then there needs to be a 3, so it's there. So in this row, I still need a 4. So these are a pair that includes a 3 that goes there and a 6 that goes there. This is... it's Bolas, not Bolas. So when I read this, I read Nicol Bolas like the magic one, but it's Bolas, like the weapon that has like a heavy ball at each end and then a chain in the middle, and you throw it around someone's legs, and then they have to like unwrap it, sort of like I did with my coat earlier today. So that is a 5 and a 6. That's a 4. And that is a 6. Lovely, lovely little doubler 6x6. Yes, it is called a bola. Lovely little puzzle. I mean, I could be wrong, but that was my assumption for why it was called Bolas. Feel free to tell me that actually you think this looks like the Magic the Gathering villain, and you can make out the horn there and the camel hump over there or something. Alrighty, let's pull up another 6x6. All right, next up we have a Math Pesto Mean Mini puzzle. So a Mean Mini, if you are not familiar, is a 6x6, except you use the digits 1 through 9 instead of the digits 1 through 6, but you only use 6 of the digits 1 through 9, but you have to figure out which of the 6 digits from 1 through 9 you're actually using. Okay. And then these are German whispers, so I have to make sure adjacent digits along these lines differ by at least 5. Okay. The first thing I notice is that there's no 5 involved, because if there was a 5 involved, both of these digits would be 5. And I can't put 2 5s in them, because you can't put a 5 on a green line ever. Oh, and sorry, there's also a friendly digit constraint. All cells are not friendly. So, so there's no 1 in column... Wait, there's no 1 in column 1? Wait, what? Oh, sorry, this is not a mean mini. I see, that's the point. This is not a mean mini. This is just, I need to use digits 1 through 9, and I need to make sure I can do that. Okay, I now understand. In my brain, I just immediately assumed it was mean because the word unfriendly, I think, had previously showed up in a title to indicate that something was a mean mini. Okay, so I can just freely use the digits 1 through 9, however I want, except I can't put a 1 anywhere in column 1 or row 1. Yeah, mean mini means 6 distinct digits, but this I'm allowed to use the digits 1 through 9 as much as I want, however I want. So, no 1 in this column is interesting, because if I can't use a 1 in this column, then if I wanted these digits to be low, they would have to be a 2, 3, 4 triple. I'm not sure if that works. Is that possible? 4, 9, 3, 8, 2. Yeah, that actually seems possible, annoyingly. So here in this column, I'm not allowed to use a 6. So if I want these to be high, then they need to be 7, 8, and 9. That also seems okay. Actually is more restrictive that I need one of these to be a 4. Yeah, there's no 6 in column 1. Agree. Does that help? No 6 and no 5, that's true, because this is box 5. I was forgetting that the box counted. So actually we can write this down. This isn't 5 or 6, so we're getting there. I don't think it means the German whisper is fixed, does it? No 1 either. But we still have 3 highs and 3 lows. Let's see. So this isn't 2. This isn't 3. This isn't 4. That's not 4 either, because if it was a 4, these would both have to be 9. Yeah, and I actually can't put 7 anywhere in the sort of the central strip of this, because 7 does go next to 2 digits, but the 2 digits are 1 and 2, so I can't actually put a 7 anywhere in the middle. Row 4, column 1. Ah, right. This is in box number 3, so that's not a 3. So one of these two is a 2. So those aren't 2. So 7 can't go up here because the 7 would need to go next to a 2. I can never put a 4 partially along a whisper, so I don't know why I put a 4 there in the first place. Row 3, 4, column 3 needs a 1 as a low digit. So I can't use 4 or 3 or 2. Right, okay. So in here, there's definitely a 1 as Ambrose's point, because I can't use 4, 3, or 2. FJam apparently spotted. That was a very good spot. So one of these has a 1 as a low digit. So now, could this cell be low? Like, could this be a 3 or a 4? I don't know. Maybe. Should I do the same thing and just mark up this column? Oops. Okay, so no 5s on a whisper line. No 4s or 6s in the middle of a whisper line. In fact, just no 4s in column 4 at all. No 6s in box 6. I think that one's safe. This is box 4. This is row 3, so that can't be a 3. This is box 2, so those two can't be 2s. That's row 1, so that can't be a 1. Row 1, 2, column 3 has a 2. Right, okay. Up here, I need a low digit. I can't put a 4 in either of these cells because it would put 2 9s into the column or box. So no 4 up here, no 1, and no 3 because it's in column 3. So there is a 2 up there. Okay, that's a very good spot. And it can't go in row 2. Got it. So this is a 2. And so that's the 1. And so this is a 3 or a 4. Very well spotted. So these are each 6, 7, 8, 9. This one's not 6 or 7. These aren't 6. So interestingly, that gives me a virtual 7, 8, 9 triple in here. So this cell can't be 7, 8, or 9. This is a 6, 7, 8, or 9. This is not a 6 or a 7 for sure. So that's a 2, 8, 9 triple, so that's not 8 or 9. That's not a 1. So this could be a 3 or something. Right. The 3 in row 0 looks down. Very well stated. So, yes, this can't be a 3 because this is column 3. So that's a 4. These are both 9. Making those 2, 8. These aren't 4 or 9. Those aren't 9 either. So they're a 7, 8 pair. So these aren't 8. So I keep wanting to say, like, oh, I've got all these digits, I should fill in the rest, but there's still a majillion versions of these things. So that 2-8 pair removes 8 from there, so that's a 3-7 pair. So that 3-7 pair finally makes that a 9, which does not tell me if this is a 3 or a 4, but it does tell me that's a 2 and an 8, and a 3 and a 7, which then tells me that that's a 4. So no 9 there by Sudoku. 2, 8, 3, 7. This can only be about 18 things. This has become high when I wasn't looking, Ambrose points out. And so if that's high, then this is also high. And therefore, these are all low. So they are not, for example, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So they're only 1, 2, or 3. So therefore, that's not a 3. So these are not 3 or 4 or 7 or 9. This is also not 1 or 2. It's not 6 because of the row, so this can only be 5 or 8. This one's not 2 because of the column. It's not 6 because of the row. This is box 5. Right, this is box 5. Smart. Okay, so that's an 8 and a 1. And that's a 7 and an 8. This is not an 8. This is not a 1. Okay, so yeah, I don't think I have much choice but to basically just pencil mark everything. So let's do it. Woo boy, go us. Okay, what about this one? So this is in row 2, column 2, box 1. I don't think I get any goodies out of this one. This is in row 4. It's in column 2. It's in box 3. So this is only a 5, 6, or 7. These are not 2 or 4 or 8. They're in row 1, so they're not 1. This is in column 5. This is in column 6. These aren't 7 or 9. They're in row 2. So this is column 5, by the way, so I can strip 5s out of all of those. Let's see. I mean, I feel like this is what this puzzle is. I mean, this is all every friendly puzzle is ultimately you just have to, like, dump pencil marks in everywhere. There certainly aren't any 5s on the Whisper. That's a good point. So no 5s anywhere there. I think I've now got all my 5s off of my Whispers. Let's see. There's no 2s there. There's no 3s in row 3. No 4s in box 4. So that gets us the high-lowity. So these are high. So therefore, all of these are high. So they're not 1, 2, 3, or 4. This one that's midway along a Whisper isn't a 6 either. This one that's midway along a Whisper isn't a 6. These are now low, so they're not 9, 8, 7, or 6. Or 5. I missed a 5 on there. This one that's midway along a Whisper next to something that can't be a 9 isn't a 4. This one's not a 4, and that one's not a 4 for the same reason. 6 doesn't go next to 2 or 3, so this is a 9. So therefore, those aren't 9. That's high, so this is low. This isn't a 9, so this isn't a 4. So that's a 1, 2, 3 triple. Sure. That's a 7, 8 pair, so that's not 7 or 8. This is box 6, so this isn't a 6. Oh, there's a 2, 3 pair in the box, so this is actually a 1. So this isn't a 1. So that's not a 6, because 6 needs to go next to 1. The 7, 8, 9 looks over here and makes that a 6. The 1, 3 pair looks over and makes that a 5. So that's a 7. I kind of thought there wouldn't be any 5s, but that'll show me. There's a 1-3 pair in this box, so these aren't 3. So 1, 2, 3 business. Let's see. This is box 4. Row 4, row 3, column 6, column 5, column 4. One of these is a 3, so it goes with a 7, 8, or 9. Okay, what am I missing now? The 3 definitely goes with an 8. Is that the point that I have to think about what happens in the column where there's a 3, 8 to the rest of the line? One of these needs to be a 6, is Ambrose's point, because there's a 6, 7, 8 triple, and that one's not a 6. So one of these is a 6, so that's never a 6, at the very least. Let's see. I do have a Jovi wing on 3s, because I do know that I have 3s in both of those places. So there's no 3s in either of these places. And so that makes that a 1-2 pair, which makes that a 3, which makes that an 8, which makes that a 6, which makes that a 1, and a 3, and a 7. And so that's a 2 and a 1, and a 2 and a 3, and an 8. And a 7, and a 9, and a 7, and a 5, and a 9. Woohoo! Weird puzzle. I feel like really I was trying to delay the inevitable of just marking 1 through 9 in every cell, but I think really I just wasted about 7 minutes by not pencil marking 1 through 9 in every cell to start with. And then just writing down the candidates. Because I think if you'd have just done that, I think you would have gotten the high-lowity of everything right away. But yes. Very neat little puzzle. I am surprised that this resolves. This is like this is a weird puzzle that it resolves. Thank God it wasn't a 9x9. Alrighty. We probably have time for one more. Let me go fish in the bucket and see if I can find another 6x6 that looks like I can do it in 10 minutes. So I'll be right back. Malcolm asks if it would be nice as a Sukaku, but I don't even know what a Sukaku is, I don't believe. So maybe. The pencil mark, like with the variant where everything is pre-pencil marked for you? Interesting. All right, so this is a Kinnison puzzle. And so cells separated by a circle digit differ by the number in the circle. So this is a generalization of white dots. So these two differ by 2, these two differ by 5. Oh, thank you. Sarah has donated £2 for Zach's Fish Fund. Thank you very much. We'll give you a donation dance for that. Boop 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 boop. Woohoo! Zach's eating nice tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sarah. That's awesome. I really appreciate the donations. And then these circles are probably odd. So first thing I notice is that 1 and 6 are the only Sudoku numbers that differ by 5. That is true. I should mention, Kinnison has an advent calendar for Sudoku coming up. So if you want the details for that, you can go get them in our Discord, or maybe Tristan can post a link, maybe. I think it's going to be awesome for those of you who are into that kind of thing. So I'll notice a digit cannot differ by 3 from 3. So if this is a 1 from 3, it's a 4. And if this is 5 down by 3, this is a 2. Let's see. Likewise, 4 up from 1 is a 5. 4 down from 6 is a 2. Oh, did I say something nonsensical? I think I said something utterly nonsensical. Oops. Ah! That's not what I wanted, Sven, and you know it. Yes, somehow in my brain I was like, well, you can't make 3 plus 3 equals 6. That would be silly, but I'm not doing that. I'm just writing down the difference. So yeah, so that's that is nice. No problem, sir. I'm very much appreciate the love. Thank you very much. It's great having you here. Oh, this was correct as being a 2 or a 5. Am I supposed to parity color this? Yes, I am. I think. Right. I am supposed to parity color this. Okay. So here's the point. So these two are the same parity. They're either both odd or both even. And let's start by saying that all of these are odd. Well, I know one of these is odd, so that's already 2 odds for the box. So what that says is that these are both even. And so if something differs by 3 from an even, then it's odd. So now these are the same parity, but what parity is that? Well, it's not odd, so it's even. And so now these are odd. And so this is even, or sorry, this is odd. And so that's the last odd for the box. So that's even. This is odd. So that's also odd. So this is even. This is an odd even pair. So this is odd. And so that means these are the evens for the column. So this is odd. This is 5 apart from an even. Who knows what the even is? But whatever even it is, it's 5 apart from it. So it's odd. And so this is even. So we've got that. So these are 2 pairs of numbers that have the same parity. Actually, let's do it the easy way. I'm 3 different from an odd, so I'm even. I'm 2 away from an even, so I'm even. And then I'm 1 away from that, so I'm odd. So we've got that. This is an odd even pair. This is even, though, because it's 3 away from an odd. So let's see. So this is an odd and an even. Of course it is. This is an odd and an even. Let's see. Okay, so now where is the clever place to look for this? I mean, I could start filling in digits, but I feel like if I can color this much, I feel like I should probably be able to finish it from here. But let's fill in the digits. So the blue 1, 6 is a 6. Oops. 4, 3. Just as soon as this is a 6, everything down here is forced. So this is a 6, a 1, a 5, a 2, a 4, and a 3, like that. Yeah, I do feel like I probably cheated by not finishing the coloring first. This is a 1 or a 5, but it's not a 5, so that's a 1 and a 5. This differs, so this is either a -2 or a 4. And then this is a 2 or a 6, so it's a 6, and that's a 2. And this is a 3 and a 5 and a 1. And that's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 3. I really love Kinnison puzzles. Kinnison puzzles are great. That is a 4 and a 2 and a 6. Okay. We've got all of that going on. I can place a 6 here. That's going to help a lot. Because it's going to mean that this is even. So it's going to be able to let us color, which we all know is the primary purpose of puzzles. So these are both even. That's odd. That's odd. That's even. So that's odd, and that's even, and we're done. Great job, or great puzzle. I really enjoyed that. I suppose we can fill in the digits for the completionists among us. So these are 2 and 6. That's a 2. This is a 5. That's a 1 and a 5, and that's a 3. Oh, sorry, and I missed a digit, and that's a 4. Nice puzzle. Sorry for the slightly late start. I don't think I've ever been stuck in a coat before, but it was an experience I don't recommend. So whoever among you is an inventor and would like to invent a replacement for zippers, please do. I would greatly appreciate it. Preferably something that still works in a winter coat, but that I don't get stuck in, would be excellent. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Much appreciated. Zach also appreciates the attention. See, I think the thing with buttons is if you're in, like, negative 10-degree weather, I feel like buttons probably don't seal the coat quite well enough. Now, maybe you should question your life choices if you're in negative 10-degree weather, and that is a fair enough response, but it is, it's unfortunately something I find myself in from time to time. Which is, I suspect, the only reason why people still use zippers, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I guess Ambrose knows about real winter as someone who is a little bit to the north of me, so probably it's even worse. I was thinking, like, maybe I am too young for zippers, and maybe I should use Velcro, as Kuraban suggests. That is a very plausible explanation. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for coming. If you have not yet liked the stream, please like the stream. It is much appreciated. If you are a regular around here and you're interested in supporting the stream beyond that, you can do that by clicking the join button down below. If you click the join button down below, for as little as $5 a month, you can support the stream. Again, you can support in whatever way you want. There's tons of ways, but that's one of the ways. It gets you the green screen name, and the little windmill and the Zach emotes. Go Zach. So much appreciated if you do that. At various tiers, you get to get various other sorts of bonuses, so you can vote on the puzzles that we do at the start of the stream, or suggest puzzles, or whatever, all that good stuff. You get access to the zetamath exclusive Discord, various cool things. I try and keep them, you know, not so huge. I don't want anyone to feel excluded if they can't contribute or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to, that option is available to you. Thank you very much to those of you who do. It's great. We really appreciate the support. Zach is well fed, and he appreciates that. But with that, thank you also to all of the super supporters. David, Michael, Nordy, Franco, Woofer, and Andreas. Thank you very much. And to Isabella, I would very much like to live in a tropical place. That would be great. But sadly, despite my desert-dwelling nature, it has been a while since I have been somewhere super warm. But anyway, thank you to everyone. I'll be streaming again on Friday, so I'll see you all soon. But that's it for now. So, bye. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.